Chapter 520, The Dust Settles, 3. However, what made Len Ruoxue the happiest was not the battle situation between the five great factions, but that Feng De and the others had emerged from seclusion. Moreover, each of them could advance to spiritual deity. After a short gathering, Len Ruoxue brought them to the uninhabited deep stream to advance. Then she sent her beasts to send her brother, Feng De, and the others to Windless City where Lan Ming was to transmute spiritual power. At this moment, more than 10 days had passed since Len Ruhan and the others left the Heartless Garden. However, they had yet to return, so Len Ruoxue couldn't help being a little anxious. In the garden of the Heartless Garden. Swear, it's only been more than 10 days. Don't worry, it will probably take a few days for them to convert their spiritual power. The freak comforted helplessly as he looked at Len Ruoxue pacing around the garden. That's right. What's there to worry about? They have such good aptitude, so they will definitely take longer to convert spiritual power than ordinary spiritual deities. Moreover, didn't Icy accompany them too? Empty comforted. I know, but I just can't help but worry. Len Ruoxue said helplessly. Alas. Concern led to confusion. Those people were her relatives, so how could she not be worried? I think you should focus your energy on the three major factions now. We've stayed here for long enough. Empty reminded. Fortunately, Yukun did not have time to harass him during this period of time. Otherwise, he would definitely be depressed to death. I didn't forget them. Len Ruoxue said with a naughty smile. Ah. What did you do again? Empty asked doubtfully. Was she hiding it from him again? Humph. I didn't do anything. Len Ruoxue turned her face to the side and deliberately ignored Empty. You didn't tell me again. Boo-hoo. You actually teamed up to bully me. You're so evil. His handsome face was full of grievance as he complained with a slight sob. Unfortunately, his pitiful appearance was once again ignored blatantly by Len Ruoxue and the freak. The next day. The news that Yukun was killed by the combined forces of the Ni and Fang families shocked the entire Yu family. The patriarch of the Yu family ignored his injured body and led people into the Ni and Fang families in a fit of anger, and an intense war broke out between the two families. Empty, we can leave now. Len Ruoxue turned to Empty in the Heartless Garden. Great, we can finally leave. A smile appeared on the incomparably handsome face. He really wanted to leave this birdcage. Len Ruoxue summoned the little peacock from the bracelet. The three of them sat on its back and left the Heartless Garden, flying directly to the village they were staying in. In the hut behind the mountain. Len Ruoxue sat on the main seat. On each side of her were the freak and Empty. The head butler and Cheng Wu stood in front of them and reported the results of their work. Miss, there are no more 5 major forces in 10,000 Mountain City now, the head butler said excitedly. Yesterday, the Yu family had a very tragic battle with the Ni and Fang families, and they took advantage of the chaos to attack. When both sides fought until both sides were injured, the fishermen benefited and became the final winner. Alas! The heads of the 5 major forces thought they were famous all their lives, but they died in a daze in the end. How tragic! Yes, how many people are still attached to the 5 major forces? Len Ruoxue asked after some thought. Not many. Only a few small fries are left. The powerhouses above the Mystic Monarch basically died in these few battles, the main butler explained. What do you intend to do with those people? Len Ruoxue asked again. Please enlighten us, miss. The head butlers and Cheng Wu's eyes met as they said in unison. They were completely convinced by Len Ruoxue now. If you want to keep them for your own use, get them to establish a loyalty contract. Otherwise, deal with them all. Len Ruoxue said without any emotion. She was not a compassionate person, nor would she pity her enemies. Her kindness would only be reserved for her own people. Yes, the head butler and Cheng Wu quickly answered. They knew that their miss meant to let them decide. Miss, the shops in the inner city are now under our control. What are your plans, miss? The head butler asked very respectfully. Head butler, I told you that you will be in charge of Myriad Mountain City in the future. You can discuss those things by yourself. Don't ask me everything. Leng Ruoxue said very irresponsibly. Upon hearing Leng Ruoxue's words, the freak couldn't help but chuckle. Hee hee. It seemed like Shuer was planning to leave everything to him. Seeing this scene, he couldn't help thinking of how Shuer was also so cute and troublesome back in the Ling Feng continent. Ah! The head butler was stunned and a little dumbfounded when he heard Leng Ruoxue's words. What did Miss mean? Did she not want to care about them anymore? Miss! You can't leave us alone, the head butler said sadly and looked at Leng Ruoxue resentfully with the eyes of a wronged little wife. Head butler, you are already an adult and don't need others to take care of you. Leng Ruoxue's forehead was full of black lines as she said speechlessly, what was he planning to rely on her for? We really need Miss Y's guidance, the head butler said shamelessly. That's right. We need Miss Wisdom and decisiveness. Chen Wu quickly echoed. Head butler, I don't have the intention to lead you. I only took a liking to your village because I wanted to find a place to stay. In fact, the reason why I helped you was mainly because I found you troublesome. However, we live on the same mountain after all, so I only helped you a little as payment for lodging, that's all. Leng Ruoxue declined. Well, she didn't want to be stuck with this group of people. Otherwise, she would have endless worries in the future. Miss, you didn't pay for lodging. You bought the entire Myriad Mountain City, including us of course, the head butler said pitifully, so anxious that he was about to cry. Is that so? Since I paid too much, convert it into money and return it to me. Leng Ruoxue frowned and said helplessly. Ah. We don't have money, only those shops and ourselves. Why don't you take it back, miss, the head butler said with a smile. Chapter 521, The Dust Settles, 4, No, I won't take it back since the goods are out. 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down Leng Ruoxue's forehead. Why was this head butler so stubborn? Why did the mighty mystic sovereign insist on a great mystic like her? Hee hee, miss, we don't have money now, but we'll return the money to you when we earn it. We'll take our leave to earn money first. Chen Wu suddenly said, and then pulled the head butler, who was about to continue persuading Leng Ruoxue, away. Ha! Shuer, looks like they're determined to pester you, the head butler and Chen Wu gloated after leaving. Alas! Leng Ruoxue sighed helplessly, feeling depressed. Didn't she say it very clearly? Why were they still pestering her? Shuer, actually, it's not bad to have them as your backing to earn money. Why don't you consider taking them in? Empty suggested. Let's discuss again later. I don't have that idea now, Leng Ruoxue said. Shuer, we're back. Leng Ruhan's voice sounded from outside the room. Leng Ruoxue hurriedly stood up and ran out of the room after hearing her brother's voice. Big brother, you're finally back. In the yard, Leng Ruoxue threw herself into Leng Ruhan's arms, who had just jumped down from Quill's back, and said worriedly. Shuer, sorry for making you worry, Leng Ruhan said shyly. What's there to worry about with me around? Alas! I'm so sad. Little Snowy actually doubted my strength. Boo-hoo, Icy's blue eyes welled up with tears as it lay on Quill's back aggrievedly and looked at Leng Ruoxue. Little Icy, how would I dare to doubt your strength? I was just worried. Leng Ruoxue hurriedly hugged it and coaxed it after hearing Icy's words. I know. Forget it, I forgive you, Icy said generously. Hee hee. Thank you, little Icy, Leng Ruoxue said happily as she caressed Icy's head. Big brother, why did you take so long? Leng Ruoxue looked up and asked in puzzlement. Logically speaking, they should have arrived in 2 days if Windless City was flying day and night from Myriad Mountain City. However, her brother and the others had actually been there for nearly half a month. My spiritual power conversion took a long time, so it took some time, Len Ruhan explained. Oh, hee, big brother, the longer the spiritual power conversion, the better your aptitude is. Len Ruoxue was relieved seeing that the reason why her brother and the others returned late was as they had guessed. Alas! I've been ignored. Suddenly, a resentful voice sounded. Len Ruoxue looked in the direction of the voice and found a familiar face among Fengde and the others. She couldn't help saying in surprise, "Little Lan Lan, why are you here? Can't I come? Or do you not welcome me?" "Humph. Little Snowy, you're a heartless baddie." Lan Ming's bright black eyes looked at Len Ruoxue resentfully, his handsome face full of grievance. "Ah. That's not what I mean. I wanted to say, how did you have the time to come when you're so busy?" Len Ruoxue said hurriedly. "Me? Busy? Very few people in my union convert spiritual power other than you. What do you think I can be busy with?" Lan Ming glared at Len Ruoxue and asked angrily. "Ah. You're the president. There should be many things to settle." Len Ruoxue guessed. "No, I'm very free," Lan Ming said with certainty. "Oh, then welcome," Len Ruoxue said helplessly. Alas! She really didn't expect Lan Ming to follow them back. It seemed like she had to welcome him warmly. "Little Snowy, you left without saying goodbye. You've seriously hurt my fragile heart. Tell me, how do you intend to compensate me?" Lan Ming deliberately put on a stern face and said with slight displeasure. "Why should I compensate you?" Len Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. "You left without saying goodbye. Shouldn't you compensate me?" Lan Ming said matter-of-factly. "Should we?" Len Ruoxue looked at the freak with a face full of question marks. "You shouldn't. What's there to compensate for? We're not very familiar with each other," the freak said indifferently as if he was talking about someone unrelated. Lan Ming was so angry. What kind of person was this? How could there be such a despicable person? He came eagerly, but he actually said that they were not familiar with him. Boo-hoo. "Little Lan Lan, didn't I tell you not to come? Why did you insist on coming? Alas! Great, you must feel bad now," Icy said very sympathetically. "You're all baddies." Lan Ming roared angrily. "Little Lan Lan, hee, we were joking with you. However, forget about the compensation. I don't have money," Len Ruoxue said very stingily. She had so many subordinates. She had to be a miser. "You don't have money yet? You've earned a lot just from the Lan family's money." Lan Ming exposed her. "I have many subordinates. Look at how many mouths I have to feed," Len Ruoxue said bitterly. "Yes, my young miss is very poor." Alas! Fengde said very cooperatively. "Humph. You're all on the same side. Of course you'll help her." Lan Ming pouted with great dissatisfaction. "Of course. Little Lan Lan, since you're here, stay here for a few days," Len Ruoxue said very politely. Ah. At least she thought she was very hospitable. Stay for a few days. Of course I have to stay for a few days. Don't tell me you originally planned to chase me away today. Lan Ming widened his eyes and said loudly. No. How can that be? Len Ruoxue quickly denied. She wouldn't admit it. In fact, she really had that intention. Little Snowy, listen carefully. I plan to stay here for a long time. Lan Ming revealed his decision. Alas! He kept feeling like something was missing after breaking up with them, so he decided to stay for a few more days to find the reason and see what was going on. Welcome, Len Ruoxue said helplessly. Just like that, Lan Ming stayed in the village for a long time. A month later. Len Ruhan and the others had all broken through to elementary mystic. In the yard at the back of the mountain. Lan Ming looked at Leng Ruoxue and the others as if they were monsters and couldn't help saying, "You're a group of perverts." Chapter 522, Going to the Rescue in Carefree City, 1, Alas. He really couldn't understand how this group of perverts gathered together. To be honest, there were very few people who could break through to elementary mystics within a month. Moreover, those who could break through in such a short time would all be powerhouses in the future. Little Lan Lan, our aptitude is just a little better than others, Leng Ruoxue said very modestly. A little? How long has it been since I last saw you? You and this freak are both great mystics now. Is that still just a little? Lan Ming said in disbelief. They were only spiritual deities when he first knew these people. However, Leng Ruoxue and that freak were both great mystics now, and their strength was only one level lower than his. Alas! One had to know that he had cultivated for more than 30 years. This was really a huge blow to him. We're lucky. Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. They couldn't have cultivated so quickly without the heaven and earth bracelet, so of course Lan Ming couldn't compare to them in this aspect. Alright, consider yourselves lucky. Lan Ming was speechless because he couldn't tell these freaks clearly. Miss, someone in Myriad Mountain City is looking for your whereabouts. At this moment, the head butler suddenly appeared and reported. Oh. Who's looking for me? Leng Ruoxue was a little puzzled. Could it be Zheng En? They had been gone for several months and hadn't been looking for her. She didn't know how they were doing. Did everything go smoothly? I don't know, but it's not someone Miss mentioned previously, the head butler said. Miss had told them that if someone named Zheng En looked for him, they would bring him here directly. However, that person was not the person Miss mentioned. Oh, bring him here for me to take a look, Leng Ruoxue said. She didn't know many people in the boundless heaven continent. Apart from Zheng En and the little old man, no one else knew that they were here at all. Could they be related to Zheng En? Yes, the head butler answered and left. Before long, the head butler returned with a middle-aged man in his 40s following behind him. That man had good facial features and was not tall. He looked very honest and sincere. He was not strong and was only an elementary mystic. Leng Ruoxue looked at the man and said lightly, "Are you looking for me?" "Are you Leng Ruoxue?" the middle-aged man asked uncertainly. "Yes, I'm Leng Ruoxue." Leng Ruoxue nodded. "Do you know His Excellency Du Min?" the middle-aged man asked. "Yes." Leng Ruoxue nodded and thought that it was indeed related to them. Could something have happened to them? Ning Yuan, an ordinary alchemist from the Alchemist Association. The middle-aged man introduced himself first. "Hello, may I know why Alchemist Ning is looking for me?" Leng Ruoxue asked bluntly. "His Excellency Du Min asked me to look for you. Something happened to him and someone named Zheng En." Ning Yuan said. "What happened?" Leng Ruoxue's heart skipped a beat, but she still maintained her composure on the surface. However, her heart was already full of thoughts because she really couldn't understand. The little old man was a mystic supremacy, and his status in the Alchemist Association was very transcendent. How could something happen with him around? There was internal strife in the Alchemist Association. His Excellency Du Min, the president, and some elders were placed under house arrest. The person in charge of the association now is Sun Wei. Ning Yuan explained. What happened? Sun Wei shouldn't be so powerful alone, right? Leng Ruoxue didn't believe that Sun Wei could overturn the sky unless there was someone supporting him from behind, and his backer was very likely the Sun family. Sun Wei obtained the support of the Sun family and the Mystic Association, and he bribed many elders, so it was easy to succeed, Ning Yuan said gloomily. After all, this was also a scandal of the Alchemist Association. He would not have said these things if His Excellency Du Min hadn't asked him to find someone. That's impossible. Why would the Mystic Association be involved in the internal strife of the Alchemist Association? Lan Ming said in disbelief. The mystic association might be controlled by Wugong now, but there were still many elders in the association. They shouldn't allow him to act recklessly, right? Something happened to the mystic association headquarters as well. Many elders who were at odds with President Wu were locked up. Ning Yuan revealed another shocking inside story. Immediately, Lan Ming lost his composure. What about the president? How's the president? Lan Ming said anxiously. His master had been in seclusion. Would Wugong attack his master? I'm not sure about the internal affairs of the Mystic Association headquarters, but I heard that the place where the president is in seclusion is now heavily guarded. Not even a fly can fly in. Ning Yuan told him what he knew. Little Snowy, what should we do now? Lan Ming was a little flustered. He was really afraid that something would happen to his master. Calm down. I don't think Sun Wei, Wugong, and the others will attack them now. Let's go to Carefree City immediately to investigate the situation and then think of a way to save them, Len Ruoxue said after some thought while contacting Baby in her heart. Big sister, what's the matter? Baby sent a voice transmission softly. Baby, help me see if this person is telling the truth. Len Ruoxue ordered. This person might be sent by Du Min, but Len Ruoxue would not completely believe him until she was sure, and Baby was the best proof. Okay, Baby answered and then used mind reading to observe carefully. After a while, Baby said, Big sister, he's telling the truth. Thank you, Baby. Len Ruoxue said directly to Weilus, Empty, let's go tomorrow. Okay, Empty said from his chair. Alas. He really didn't expect the Mystic Association to be so chaotic now. One had to know that the previous association headquarters was full of talents, but it was actually so deformed now. He was really too angry. It seemed like he had to rectify it. Head butler, help me arrange some people. I want to go to Carefree City. Len Ruoxue turned her head and ordered. She knew very well that they really couldn't defeat Wugong and the others with their current strength, so she needed to borrow some of Myriad Mountain City's strength. Chapter 523, Going to the Rescue in Carefree City, 2, Yes, miss, the head butler answered and immediately went to make the arrangements. The next day, Len Ruoxue and the others, who were already prepared, set off. This time, neither she nor the freak disguised themselves. However, Lan Ming changed his appearance and transformed from an incomparably handsome man to an abnormally ugly middle-aged man. Half a month later, Len Ruoxue and the others finally arrived at Carefree City after flying day and night. At the city gate, the freak looked at Schwer's beautiful face and felt very uncomfortable because Schwer's beauty was about to be seen by everyone. Boo-hoo. He was really unwilling. However, in order to save Zheng En and the little old man, they had no choice but to appear in front of everyone in their original appearance. They had changed their appearance the last time they came. Schwer. The freak pouted unhappily. Ah. Freak, well, leave this place after we save Zheng En and the little old man, Len Ruoxue comforted. Of course, she knew what the freak cared about. However, if they entered the city without recovering their original appearance, they would quickly be discovered by Sun Wei and the others. It was also impossible to become invisible. Otherwise, what should she do at night? Could she let so many people sleep on the streets with her? Yes. The freak nodded. Let's enter the city. Len Ruoxue turned to everyone. Okay, everyone answered in unison, and then walked into Carefree City with Len Ruoxue and the freak. It was not her first time here, so Len Ruoxue led everyone directly into the Carefree Pavilion and booked rooms for everyone under the stunned gazes of the pedestrians on the street. In the living room. Lan Ming looked at the luxurious room and looked at Len Ruoxue in surprise. Wow, you're so stingy. You're actually willing to book such a good room for each of us. It's really not easy. Don't be smug. I'll get the money for your room back from you later, Len Ruoxue said with a smile. You're fussing over this as well? Lan Ming said in disbelief. This girl had earned a lot of money from him, so why didn't she let him go? Alas! How tragic. He already owed a lot. At first, when he stayed in the village, little Snowy made delicious food for him every day, causing him to think that Leng Ruoshua treated him as an esteemed guest. Later on, he knew that he was overthinking because that stingy person helped him remember everything he ate here, saying that they would settle the bill together at the end. Boo-hoo. Even biological brothers have to settle scores openly. Moreover, we're not. We have to settle the scores even more clearly, Leng Ruoshua said with a naughty smile. Alas. Remember then. Don't chase after my but if I can't repay you when the time comes. Lan Ming said worriedly. You can't repay it. It's okay. You can repay the debt with your body. Leng Ruoshua said with a light smile, her beautiful eyes flashing with teasing. I don't want to. Lan Ming said fearfully. The scene of those Lan family elders paying the debt with their bodies was still vivid in his mind. He didn't dare to owe this girl money. It was really too terrifying. Ha, little Lan Lan, you're more familiar with this place. I'll leave the investigation of the current situation to you. Is there a problem? Leng Ruoshua stopped teasing him and asked. No problem. However, you have to get your beasts to help me become invisible, Lan Ming suggested. Wu Gong had many experts. He would definitely be discovered if he went directly. The success rate would be much higher if he became invisible. Okay. Leng Ruoshua nodded and summoned Ling Ling, help little Lan Lan turn invisible. Leng Ruoshua ordered. Yes, Master, Ling answered. Then it cast an invisibility spell on Lan Ming. It said to Lan Ming, it's done. Little Snowy, I'm going then. Lan Ming left the carefree hall quietly after speaking. Miss, I'll go ask my friends about the situation too. Chen Wu bowed and left. This time, he recommended himself to save Leng Ruoshua together, so he had to perform well. Okay, be careful on the road. Don't expose your identity, Leng Ruoshua reminded. Got it. I'll be careful, Chen Wu promised and then left the carefree pavilion. Miss, shall we gather some news too? The other mystic sovereigns who came with Leng Ruoshua said in unison. This time, they came with the mood to render meritorious service, so they wanted to perform well. I'm afraid it will attract the attention of the Mystic Association if you all go out. You should return to your rooms to rest. Leng Ruoshua said after some thought. The people who came out with her this time were all mystic sovereigns. The Mystic Association would probably target them if so many unfamiliar faces appeared at once. Yes, everyone answered very respectfully after hearing Leng Ruoxua's words. Then they bowed to Leng Ruoshua and left the living room to their rooms. Shuer, what are we doing? The freak asked after the others left. Freak, let's go to the Alchemist Association to take a look. Leng Ruoshua said after some thought. She still didn't know what the Alchemist Association would be like. Moreover, if she could find the little old man and Zheng En, she could save them directly. I'll go too, Empty said as he sat in his chair sipping tea. Okay. Leng Ruoshua nodded in agreement and got Ling to cast an invisibility spell on the three of them. Then the three of them left the carefree hall. With Empty leading the way, the three of them quickly arrived at the Alchemist Association. After entering the Alchemist Association, Leng Ruoshua gave it a simple tour and then summoned Quill to help her find someone. Quill immediately searched with its X-ray vision after receiving its master's order. It finally found its target moments later. Master, I found the little old man, Quill reported. Where? Bring us there quickly, Leng Ruoshua said hurriedly. However, she was a little puzzled. Why didn't Quill find Zheng En? Could something have happened to Zheng En? She couldn't help being a little worried. Master, there seems to be a barrier where the little old man is and locked him inside. However, he shouldn't have suffered too much damage inside. Quill told Leng Ruoshua the results it saw. Chapter 524, Going to the Rescue in Carefree City, 3, Is it a barrier? It's okay. Let's go. Len Ruoxue said confidently. There shouldn't be a problem with the enchantment. Yes, master. Come with me. Quill said softly and flew in front to lead the way. After turning left and right, Len Ruoxue and the others arrived at a relatively remote corner of the Alchemist Association. There was only one room there. Moreover, the house looked very old from the outside. The walls were covered in mottled marks, and there were 2 guards guarding the door. Empty, can you break this barrier and not let the owner of the barrier know? Len Ruoxue asked softly after walking to the door. Yes. Empty snorted. It was not difficult for him even though this barrier was set up by the mystic supremacy. Then I'll leave it to you, Len Ruoxue said. It would be much easier for them to save people if they didn't let the owner of the barrier discover them. Schwer is actually being polite with me, Empty said, a little unaccustomed. Yes, you're the main force now. The main labor force. Len Ruoxue added with a chuckle in her heart. It's good that you know. Empty was quite smug upon hearing Len Ruoxue mentioning that. Hee, Schwer finally realized how important he was, right? Stop thinking so much. Hurry up and do it. Len Ruoxue couldn't help urging him seeing that he was still being so smug. Yes, Mississippi. Empty mimicked Fengde and the others. He directly cast a few spells and then the barrier blocking Len Ruoxue and the others was broken. Len Ruoxue and the others quietly slipped into the room without any obstruction. After entering the room, Len Ruoxue and the others saw the little old man trapped in the room. He was sitting in front of the table with a worried frown, thinking about something. Grandpa Du. Len Ruoxue called out softly. Who is it? Is it Schwer? The little old man asked excitedly when he heard a familiar voice. However, he didn't find anyone after looking around. Alas! Could it be that he was locked up silly and had an illusion? That girl shouldn't have found this place so quickly. Grandpa Du. Len Ruoxue called out again. Ha! Grandpa Du's expression was so interesting. Schwer, where are you? The little old man said in surprise. It was Schwer's voice, right? He really heard it this time. Grandpa Du, I'm right in front of you. I'm invisible. You can't see me, Len Ruoxue explained. Lass, is it really you? The little old man said happily. Ha, he didn't expect Schwer to find him so quickly. It was great. Yes, Grandpa Du, I'm here to save you. Where is Zhengyan? Len Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Why weren't they locked up together? Alas! Zhengyan was locked up in the cell of the Sun family by that bastard Sun Wei. I really don't know why he hates Zhengyan so much. My poor disciple will probably die since he fell into his hands. The little old man said worriedly. Alas! It was all his fault for being useless. He couldn't even save his disciple, but he was actually locked up and had to be saved by the lass. To think he was a mystic supremacy. How embarrassing. Locked Sun Zhou City. Len Ruoxue asked in surprise. No, it should be the Sun family's yard in Carefree City. By the way, Lan Ninger has also come to Carefree City, the little old man said. Ah. Why is she here? I thought she didn't have the face to walk around. Len Ruoxue said in surprise. Last time, Lan Ninger's clothes were burned down by Big Sister Linger and she dragged her around Blue Cloud City. At that time, Len Ruoxue thought that Lan Ninger would be too ashamed to face anyone anymore. She didn't expect her to come to Carefree City. She heard that I'm here, so she specially came to find me to be her disciple. She's coming to convince me almost every day now, but I can't be bothered with her, the little old man said disdainfully. Humph. With his impression of Lan Ninger in Blue Cloud City, it would be impossible for him to take her in even if he didn't take in disciples. Oh, is she still counting on you as her master so that she can improve her status? Leng Ruoxue said understandingly. Lan Ning'er's status in the Lan family had probably fallen drastically after the previous incident. It was no wonder she was in a hurry to find a backer. The little old man would really be a good choice if he wasn't locked up here. Ah. She had to say that Lan Ning'er had good taste. However, could Lan Ning'er have a way to get the little old man out? Yes, and she said that if I accepted her as my disciple, she would get Sun Wei to let me go. The little old man pouted and said nonchalantly. Could it be that the two of them have reached some kind of agreement? A cold light flashed quickly in Leng Ruoxue's beautiful eyes, shooting out sharp killing intent. She was right. Yes, it should be. The little old man nodded slightly in agreement. Master, I'm here. Speak of the devil. Just as Leng Ruoxue was chatting with the little old man, Lan Ning'er's voice sounded from outside the room. Immediately after, Lan Ning'er pushed open the door and walked in directly. After Lan Ning'er entered the room, she came directly to the little old man, bowed respectfully, and said with a smile, Master, how are you today? Disciple came to see you again. Don't call me master. I, an old beggar, can't afford to take in the daughter of the Lan family. The little old man turned his head to the side. He didn't want to see Lan Ning'er at all. Master is still angry with disciple. At that time, disciple didn't know master's identity. In fact, I'm quite respectful to you, master, Lan Ning'er explained, a rare trace of shyness appearing on her beautiful face. I don't care. What's there to be angry about? The little old man said coldly. At the same time, he was annoyed. He couldn't understand why this Lan Ning'er was so thick-skinned. Didn't she know what rejection was? Master, don't be angry with your disciple anymore since you don't care, Lan Ning'er said casually and pretended to be very obedient in an attempt to attract the little old man's favor. I don't care about you. Of course I won't be angry with you, the little old man said bluntly. Master, I saved you. Otherwise, do you think you can stay here safely? Do you know how miserable that Zheng'an is? Sun Wei beat him up every day to vent his hatred. Alas! I believe that Zheng'an will die in a few days, Lan Ning'er gloated. The words "I'm your savior" were clearly written on her beautiful face. Chapter 525, Going to the Rescue in Carefree City, 4, Is that so? I believe my disciple is lucky. He will be fine, the little old man said very confidently. Humph. The girl was already here, so how could Zheng'an be in trouble? In fact, he didn't know why he believed in Leng Ruoxue's abilities so much. Perhaps she had that kind of charm. Are you sure? What if I tell you that Zheng'an is about to die? Lan Ning'er raised her eyebrows slightly and smiled mysteriously. Then as long as I go out, I'll get all of you to die with him, the little old man said domineeringly with his aura released. Ah! Lan Ning'er couldn't bear the little old man's might. A mouthful of blood surged up her throat and flowed out the corner of her mouth. Humph! How useless! You call yourself a member of the Lan family? You're really embarrassing the Lan family, the little old man said with some contempt. He had been good friends with the Lan family's old ancestor for many years. He originally wanted to take Lan Ning'er as his disciple on account of his old friend when he heard that the Lan family had an alchemy genius. However, he didn't expect Lan Ning'er to disappoint him to the core. Humph. It'll come again, Lan Ning'er said stubbornly as she wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth. Ever since what happened last time, the way the Lan family looked at her had changed. Her grandfather no longer treated her like before. She suddenly became a lowly member of the Lan family, despised by everyone. How could she, who had been pampered and proud since she was young, bear with this? Later on, she unintentionally learned that His Excellency Du Min was in Carefree City, so she secretly left her home and came here, hoping to take him as her master to reverse her status in the family. However, she didn't expect that the person she wanted to take as her master was actually the old beggar she had scolded. She was a little dumbfounded at that time, and that old man was very vengeful. He refused to take her in as his disciple no matter how hard she tried. Humph. She was really angry. Don't come anymore. I won't take you in as my disciple, the little old man said lightly before Lan Ninger left. Upon hearing this, Lan Ninger turned her head, glared fiercely at the little old man, and left with a face full of anger. Lass, did you hear what she said? Zheng En's condition isn't good. Go and save him first. I'll be fine for the time being, the little old man said worriedly after Lan Ninger left. Alas! Zheng En was his proudest disciple. He would definitely not forgive himself if anything happened. Lass, are you still here? The little old man couldn't help asking again, seeing that no one answered. I'm here, Leng Ruoxue said. She hadn't said anything since Lan Ninger came just now, but she had been here all along. Moreover, she had already let baby read Lan Ninger's heart and found Zheng En's whereabouts. She was listening to baby's report just now. Lass, what are you doing? Weren't you there just now? The little old man asked doubtfully. I was thinking about something just now. Grandpa do, I'm going to save Zheng En now. Please stay here for a while. I'll save you later, Leng Ruoxue said. If she saved the little old man now, she would be alerted if she was discovered. Okay, quickly save my good disciple. I'll be fine. They won't dare to kill me, the little old man hurriedly urged. Okay, Grandpa do, we're leaving, Leng Ruoxue said. Okay. The little old man nodded vigorously, but he couldn't help thinking in his heart. Us? Could there be others here just now? After speaking, Leng Ruoxue left with the freak and empty. After leaving the Alchemist Association, Leng Ruoxue and the others found the Sun family's yard according to the address baby mentioned. The Sun family's yard was located in the north of Carefree City. It was not as big as the Lan family's yard, but it was considered one of the best in Carefree City. Leng Ruoxue smiled evilly as she looked at the tall and mighty walls of the Sun family's yard while standing outside the Sun family's yard. She took out several black spherical objects from her ring and buried them under the wall. Schwer, what is this? Empty asked curiously. He didn't seem to have seen this thing before. This is a new weapon I refined, called Explosive Ball. Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. Actually, this was just a bomb. She created it according to her memories of her previous life and had never had the chance to use it. She didn't expect it to come in handy today. Explosive ball. It can explode. Empty said in surprise. He didn't expect such a thing to exist. Schwer was really amazing. Give me a few. I'll play with them too. Empty stretched out his hand and requested. For you. Leng Ruoxue gave the freak, Empty, and her beasts a few each. Then she ordered them to bury the exploding ball in a corner of the Sun family's yard. After doing all this, Leng Ruoxue ordered Quill to find the location of the cell. Then she found the cell according to Quill's location. Perhaps Sun Wei believed too much in the defense of the Sun family's yard, but there was actually no one guarding the huge cell. Leng Ruoxue, the others, and the beasts sneaked in smoothly. A pungent moldy smell surged into his nose as soon as he entered the cell. The cell was so dark that he couldn't see his fingers in front of him. Moreover, he could vaguely hear the sound of water flowing. Leng Ruoxue and the others searched each cell under the dim light and finally found Zheng En covered in blood and injuries in the innermost water prison. Seeing Zheng En unconscious and on the verge of death, a strong killing intent surged into Leng Ruoxue's heart. Those who dared to touch her had to pay the price. She would definitely not let Sun Wei off lightly. Sensing the fluctuation in Schwer's emotions, the freak hurriedly took out a dagger that could slice iron like mud, cut the chains of the water prison, and rushed in first to save Zheng En, who was tied to the wall. Schwer, quickly put him into the space and let's leave this place, the freak reminded. Okay. Leng Ruoxue took out a pill and stuffed it into the unconscious Zheng En's mouth. Then, with a thought, she stored Zheng En in the bracelet and quickly left the cell. After leaving the cell, Leng Ruoxue and the others arrived at the main yard. They heard abnormal groans and panting coming from the main house as soon as they entered. There were also the excited howls of men and the low sobbing of women. They came to the window curiously and looked in casually, only to find that the two main leads were people they knew, Sun Wei and Lan Ninger. Chapter 526, Going to the Rescue in Carefree City. 5. Doesn't Lan Ninger like Leng Wudi? Why is she together with Sun Wei? Leng Ruoxue said in puzzlement. Ah. Was she giving up? No wonder she was so confident that Sun Wei would agree to let the little old man go. So that was the reason. How can Leng Wudi like her? It's not like he doesn't have eyes, the freak said disdainfully. Let me give them a big gift. Leng Ruoxue said very understandingly. With that, she gently pushed open the window and threw a small pill into the crack. Then she thoughtfully closed the window for them to prevent their spring sunshine from leaking out. Schwer, what did you throw in? Empty asked in puzzlement. Why did Schwer have so many things that he didn't recognize? Ah. You're still young. You're not suitable for children. You'll know when you grow up, Leng Ruoxue said with a naughty smile. Schwer, I'm not young anymore. I'm much older than you, Empty said with a black face. Ah. Could it be that? Empty guessed. You're young if I say you're young. Don't talk back. Leng Ruoxue said domineeringly. Then she pulled them away from this place. Of course, she didn't forget to throw a few explosive balls into the corner of the main yard before leaving. After Leng Ruoxue and the others left the Sun family's yard, they went to the Alchemist Association to save the little old man. Immediately after, they returned to the Carefree Pavilion without anyone noticing. After returning to the Carefree Pavilion, Leng Ruoxue directly entered the room and moved Zheng En out of the bracelet. At this moment, Zheng En had already woken up. Moreover, most of the injuries on his body had healed. However, the medicinal effects of the pills couldn't heal all his injuries at once because his injuries were too serious. In the room. After Zheng En woke up, he was stunned to see the stunning beauty in front of him. Then he asked carefully, You are? Zheng En is so injured that he doesn't even recognize me? Leng Ruoxue teased. The little old man recognized her at a glance just now. You are? Miss? Zheng En said doubtfully. He knew that his miss had taken an appearance-changing pill, but he couldn't believe that this stunning beauty in front of him was his Mississippi. However, her voice was identical to his miss, and her temperament was very similar. Nonsense. Who would save you if not me? Leng Ruoxue pretended to be displeased. Alas, Zheng En actually didn't dare to acknowledge her. Miss, I thought I wouldn't be able to see you anymore. Zheng En's eyes welled up with tears of excitement when he saw that the stunning beauty in front of him was really his Mississippi. What are you saying? You're mine. No one can take your life without my permission, Leng Ruoxue said loudly in anger. I know, that's why I've been holding my last breath. I knew that Miss would definitely come to save me, Zheng En said happily. Boo-hoo. He had finally waited for this day. Yes, it's good that you know. Leng Ruoxue was very satisfied with Zheng En's idea and praised him. Miss, I don't know how my master is doing. Help me find his whereabouts. Zheng En pleaded. In his heart, his miss was omnipotent. Stinky brat, I've been standing in front of you for a long time. You only have your young miss in your eyes. I, this disheveled old man, have been completely ignored, the little old man said uncomfortably. All right. He admitted that he was jealous. However, his disciple's concern for him still benefited him a lot. Master. It's good that you're okay. Zheng En said happily when he saw the little old man. Alas. Fortunately, Master was safe and sound. Stinky brat, it was the girl who saved me, the little old man said honestly. The girl was their benefactor. Miss, thank you, Zheng En said gratefully, warmth flowing through his heart. Hee, it felt so good to have a family. What are you thanking me for? You're mine. Isn't it normal for me to save you? Leng Ruoxue didn't want her own people to be too polite with her. In her eyes, those who could be called her family were all family members that she approved of. Yes, Mississippi. Have you been well during this period of time? Zheng En nodded and then asked curiously. He had not been by Miss' side for a few months, and he didn't know what Miss had been doing recently. Fortunately, my brother and the others are out of seclusion. I'll introduce them to you when I have time, Leng Ruoxue said. Okay, I've been curious about them for a long time, Zheng En said. He had always only heard of the subordinates around his young miss and had never seen them. He finally had the chance to see them now. Take care of your injuries first, and then we'll think about revenge. Don't let anyone who participated in hurting me go. A trace of killing intent flashed in Leng Ruoxue's beautiful eyes, and a fierce aura emitted from her body. Yes, Mississippi. I must take revenge with my own hands. Zheng En said with hatred. His bloodshot black eyes were cold and gloomy like a seductress from hell. The hatred in his heart released all his killing intent. Okay, I'll let you take revenge yourself. Leng Ruoxue nodded slightly in agreement. She would definitely fulfill Zheng En's wish since he had this idea. However, now that it involved the Sun family and the Mystic Association, this revenge would probably not be easy to take, so she had to plan carefully. Zheng En, rest well. Well, go out first, Leng Ruoxue continued and left Ling in the room to protect Zheng En. Disciple, recuperate first and think about revenge. Master will go out first, the little old man said. With that, he left the room with Leng Ruoxue. The little old man followed Leng Ruoxue to the living room, where the others were already waiting for them. Little Snowy, you saved them all. So fast. Lan Ming couldn't help but exclaim. Alas, this girl was godlike in her work. She really left others in the dust. Little Lan Lan, how's the investigation going? Leng Ruoxue and the little old man each found a chair to sit down and asked. Almost. I went to the Mystic Association headquarters just now and found that it was very chaotic inside. Many elders were indeed locked up. However, my master's seclusion place is very safe now. Ah. The main reason is that Wugong can't enter, so master's life shouldn't be in danger for the time being. Lan Ming explained the situation he had found. Alas. He was relieved seeing that his master was fine now. Chapter 527, Refining the Silver Snow Pill, Advancement, 1. I originally wanted to visit the Alchemist Association, but am not very familiar with that place, so I didn't go. However, I think the situation of the Alchemist Association should be similar to the Mystic Association. Lan Ming continued. Lass, Brat Lan is right. This is indeed the current situation of the Alchemist Association. My muddle-headed disciple Renli and some elders of the association are locked up. The person in charge of the association headquarters now is Sun Wei and the elders who support him, the little old man said. Where are they locked up? Why aren't you locked up together? Leng Ruoxue said in puzzlement. Alas. This Sun Wei even locked up his master. He was really something. Whoever took him in as a disciple was really unlucky for 8 lifetimes. No. Because Lan Ning'er wants to be my disciple, Sun Wei locked me up alone in order to please her. The others should be locked up in his cell, the little old man said after some thought. I didn't expect the Alchemist Association to have a cell too. Leng Ruoxue said in surprise. She really couldn't understand why the association would set up a cell. Lass, why can't the Alchemist Association have a prison? Alchemists from the association can also be punished if they do something wrong, the little old man said. Oh, in that case, let the president and elders of the headquarters stay in there for a few more days. Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. Those people had nothing to do with her, so their lives were not in her consideration. Yes, let them stay inside for the time being. Anyway, Sun Wei won't kill them for a while, the little old man agreed. Alas, those people were so stubborn. They refused to let him cancel the punishment order he gave Zheng En back then no matter what. Great, they listened to Sun Wei back then, but in the end, they were still locked up by Sun Wei. They were really asking for trouble. He didn't pity them at all even though his disciples were among them. Grandpa Du, what happened? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. Lass, it's a long story. It's embarrassing even if I were the one telling you. The little old man sighed softly and said helplessly. Grandpa Du, you have to let me know even if it's embarrassing. Leng Ruoxue said. She had heard Ning Yuan mention some things, but Ning Yuan was only an ordinary mystic after all. It was impossible for him to know too much about these things that happened in the upper echelons. Lass, after I brought Zheng back, I thought that the matter could be easily resolved with me stepping in. However, who knew that those stubborn old fellows from the headquarters actually disagreed? They even said that the matter back then was irrefutable evidence. Moreover, they said that I couldn't produce evidence that Sun Wei framed Zheng En and was unable to prove Zheng En's innocence. Some people even said that I sided with Zheng En and deliberately wronged Sun Wei because Zheng En was my disciple. Humph. It's really infuriating. Humph. He was so angry that he wanted to beat someone up whenever he thought of the situation back then. Hee, Grandpa Du, looks like the Alchemist Association isn't very humane. I guess they didn't take your words seriously because they saw that you were no longer in the association. This is what they mean by tea cools when people leave. Leng Ruoxue said with some emotion. Alas. It seemed that she had expected it wrong back then. She originally thought that the little old man had an extraordinary status in the Alchemist Association, and that no one would dare to oppose his opinion. Who knew that those people actually dared to rebel? Lass, you're right. They've been blinded by power. Alas. The little old man sighed repeatedly. He was still respected by countless people in other places, but he actually received a cold treatment in his territory. This really made his heart turn cold. Grandpa Du, shouldn't Sun Wei be grateful to them since they didn't believe you? Why did he lock them up? Leng Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Humph. That Sun Wei is simply an ingrate. After using them, he seized their power simply because they didn't agree to him inheriting the position of the president of the headquarters, the little old man said gloatingly. Isn't the president of the association headquarters Renli? Could it be that Renli wants to give the position of president to Sun Wei? Leng Ruoxue said doubtfully. Ah. There was really extraordinary chaos among the upper echelons of the Alchemist Association. It was originally Renli. However, because of my matter, Renli felt that he had let me down, so he took the initiative to resign from his position as the president. He ordered the Elder Association to choose a new president. However, the opinions of the Elder Association had always been inconsistent, and many people didn't approve of Sun Wei being the president of the headquarters, so Sun Wei borrowed the power of the Sun family and the Mystic Association to lock up all the people who opposed him. However, Sun Wei won't kill them for the time being. He still needs to borrow their power to consolidate his status, so those old muddled bugs are still safe now, the little old man said angrily. Oh, I see. Leng Ruoxue understood. Little Snowy, Sun Weisbacher should be Sun Meilin's mother. Wu Gong's involvement was all because of her. Moreover, I saw her at the Mystic Association headquarters, Lan Ming said evasively. Isn't it normal to see her? Little Lan, could it be that you saw something you shouldn't have seen? Leng Ruoxue asked in realization. TCH, was little Lan considered shy? What was wrong with that? It seemed like the relationship between the adulterous pair was no secret. She just didn't know if the person from the Sun family knew. Ah. 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down Lan Ming's forehead. Was he really overreacting? Little Lan, do you know the background of that Madam Sun? Leng Ruoxue asked after some thought. I know a little. I heard that woman was originally the concubine of the deputy patriarch of the Sun family, Sun Sheng. Later on, she used some unknown means to obtain Sun Sheng's favor and jumped to become Sun Sheng's wife. She also gave birth to a son and a daughter for Sun Sheng, so her status in the Sun family has always been very stable. She even has the momentum to suppress Sun Sheng's wife, Lan Ming said to Leng Ruoxue with the information he knew. Is that woman very beautiful? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. She was indeed a capable woman. To be honest, she really wanted to meet this Mrs. Sun. Ah. Not too bad. Lan Ming said after some thought. What do you mean by not too bad? Is she beautiful or not? Leng Ruoxue said impatiently. Chapter 528, Refining the Silver Snow Pill, Advancement, 2, Not as beautiful as Sun Meilin, Lan Ming said helplessly. Boo-hoo. Little Snowy was so fierce. Then how did she get the favor of that sun whatever? Leng Ruoxue was puzzled. A man's taste was really strange. I don't know. Lan Ming shrugged. How could an outsider like him know so much about what happened between husband and wife? Then what about her and Wu Gong? Why does Wu Gong listen to a married woman? Leng Ruoxue couldn't understand. How could a married woman be so charming? She could actually make the vice president of the Mystic Association obey her. This was too unbelievable. There are rumors that she's Wu Gong's lover, but no one knows if it's true or not, Blue said after some thought. Oh. Leng Ruoxue nodded. She didn't expect Wu Gong to be so sentimental. By the way, Grandpa Du, you are a mystic supremacy. How did you get locked up by Sun Wei and the others? Leng Ruoxue asked hurriedly as she suddenly thought of this. Lass, I forgot to tell you that Wu Gong is already a mystic supremacy. Moreover, he has many mystic sovereigns by his side, and there are many from the Sun family. Alas. I was alone, so I was captured, the little old man said very gloomily. Alas. He had never been schemed against so cowardly in all his years of life. Wu Gong is also a mystic supremacy. Lan Ming was surprised. No wonder he felt Wu Gong's aura become stronger when he saw him just now. He didn't expect him to be a mystic supremacy. Yes, I didn't expect it either. Otherwise, I wouldn't have suffered so much. Thinking of this, the little old man was really depressed. Does Madame Sun have a mystic supremacy by her side? Leng Ruoxue asked. No, her people are all mystic sovereigns, the little old man said with certainty. They only have one mystic supremacy, right? Leng Ruoxue looked at the little old man to confirm. Yes, there should only be one mystic supremacy, Wu Gong. However, if the Sun family sends a mystic supremacy, there will be more than one, the little old man said worriedly. Alas. Wu Gong was not worried. He was afraid of the Sun family's ambition. The Sun family won't casually send a mystic supremacy, Empty, who had been sitting in the chair without saying anything, said with certainty. Are you sure? Leng Ruoxue didn't know why she was so confident, but she would still believe what Empty said. Of course, power and status are not the most important to mystic supremacies. Their greatest wish is to break through, so mystic supremacies won't fight easily unless it's urgent. Empty was experienced, so he knew what was most important to mystic supremacies. Very few mystic supremacies would fight to the death for fame and benefits. What level is mystic supremacy after breaking through? Leng Ruoxue couldn't help asking. Empty should know, right? I can't tell you now. These are too far away from you. You should break through to Mystic Monarch first. Empty smiled and deliberately kept him in suspense. Fine, I'll know sooner or later anyway, Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. Qing Wu, what did you find out? Leng Ruoxue turned her gaze to Qing Wu and asked. Miss, I found out about the same situation as President Lan, Cheng Wu hurriedly replied when he heard Leng Ruoxiu's question. Oh. Leng Ruoxiu acknowledged softly. Suddenly, a loud bang sounded in everyone's ears. What's the matter? Lan Ming and the others hurriedly stood up from their chairs and rushed out of the door curiously. Only Leng Ruoxiu, the freak, empty, and the little old man sat calmly in their chairs, drinking tea and eating snacks, not taking the commotion just now seriously at all. After a long while, Lan Ming and the others, who had gone out to watch the commotion, returned. The expressions on their faces were very strange. Little Snowy, why didn't any of you ask us what happened outside? Lan Ming asked curiously after sitting down. Ah. Wasn't Little Snowy and the others' reactions a little too calm? It has nothing to do with me. Why should I ask it? Leng Ruoxiu said nonchalantly. Actually, she knew without asking. Well, it was about time to explode. Aren't you curious too? Lan Ming asked the other three, his handsome face full of question marks. What's there to be curious about? The freak said lightly. That's right. Little Lan Lan, you still have to train. How can you be so shocked and angry? Empty said like an elder. Ah. Lan Ming's forehead was full of black lines. So he was too unperturbed. From the direction of the sound, it seems to be the Sun family's yard. The little old man saw that Lan Ming was too pitiful and cooperated. Could this be caused by Shuer and the others? Yes, a serious explosion happened in the Sun family's yard. Moreover, Sun Wei and Lan Ninger were still fooling around in public. Alas! The Lan family's face has been thrown away by Lan Ninger this time. Lan Ming sighed, his handsome face full of disdain. Did the Sun family suffer any casualties? Leng Ruoxiu asked. There are many injured, but they shouldn't have died, Lan Ming replied. Oh. Leng Ruoxiu was dissatisfied. It seemed that the power of the exploding ball was still a little weak. It actually didn't die. Alas. It was really too disappointing. It seemed like she had to increase the dosage. Ah. Little Snowy, the Sun family didn't die. You seem to be very displeased, Lan Ming said doubtfully. Little Snowy's reaction was really too strange. Could the Sun family's explosion be related to her? He guessed in his heart. Of course I'm displeased. Wouldn't it save us a lot of trouble if more people from the Sun family die? You don't even understand this. Leng Ruoxiu looked at Lan Ming with slight contempt. Lan Ming was speechless. Boo-hoo. Why was a pure child like him always despised by Little Snow? Alright, everyone should rest early today. Leng Ruoxiu looked at the time. After speaking, Leng Ruoxiu returned to her room with the freak, and nature followed her in. Why did you come in? It won't be clear if others see you. In the room, the freak glared at Empty and said with slight dissatisfaction. Chapter 529, Refining the Silver Snow Pill, Advancement, 3, I want to enter the space, Empty said with 2 drops of cold sweat hanging on his forehead. Freak, let's go in too. Leng Ruoxiu suppressed her smile. Yes, the freak answered with a nod. With a thought, the freak and Empty were brought into the bracelet. Empty, the freak and I are going to cultivate. Leng Ruoxiu said to Weilus after entering the bracelet. Shuer, didn't you think of taking pills to advance to Mystic Monarch? Empty asked in puzzlement. Pill? Leng Ruoxiu's beautiful face was full of confusion. For a moment, she really couldn't think of any pill that could advance directly to Mystic Monarch. Moreover, her situation was different from others. Silver Snow Pill. Don't tell me you forgot. Empty said in disbelief. In fact, he had wanted to ask Shuer and the freak when they had just advanced to Great Mystic. However, there were too many things at that time, so he had never found a suitable opportunity. Those silver snow fish. Leng Ruoxue suddenly remembered the fish she had stolen from the Lan family's yard. Ah! She would have really forgotten if she hadn't reminded him. In fact, she couldn't be blamed. There have been too many things happening recently. Seems like you really forgot, Empty said helplessly. Yes, I did forget, Leng Ruoxue admitted shyly. Hee, the main ingredient for the silver snow pill was fish. Fish were food in her heart. Who would always think about food for no reason? Swear, if you advance to Mystic Monarch, I think you will have no problem skipping levels to challenge Mystic Sovereigns. Empty guessed. Alas! These two perverts could defeat Mystic Monarchs at higher levels when they were great mystics. If they advanced to Mystic Monarch, the unlucky ones would be Mystic Sovereigns. Ordinary Mystic Sovereigns will definitely be fine, but I don't know about those like Cheng Wu, Leng Ruoxue said. With that, the three of them walked to the side of the pool where the silver snow fish were kept. Leng Ruoxue was surprised as she looked at the silver snow fish swimming happily in the pool. This didn't seem to have been long. The silver snow fish in the pool was actually twice the size of when she saw them in the Lan family. Moreover, they were lively. In addition, there were many small fish in the pool. Ha, swear, looks like these fish live well in the space. Seeing these fish, Empty's craving was aroused. Ah! He hadn't seen these fish for a long time because he was afraid that he would not be able to help eating them after seeing them. Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded and fished out two immature small fish from the pool and stored them in the ring for refining pills. Then she fished out a big fish nearly a meter long and prepared to taste its deliciousness. Ha, little Snowy is finally willing to eat these fish. Icy, which was sleeping in the bracelet, immediately ran over when it heard the commotion. Leng Ruoxue's beasts came with it. Leng Ruoxue looked helplessly at the expectant Icy and the beasts, and had to fish out several more fish from the pool. Alas, the beasts had a big appetite, and she didn't know if these were enough. Charm, go get Big Brother and the others, Leng Ruoxue ordered. Her brother and the others were cultivating in their rooms. Yes, Master. Charm disappeared in a flash of white light after receiving Leng Ruoxue's order. After a while, Leng Ruhan and the others came to the side of the pool. Feng De hurriedly ordered Lin Yuan and the others to clean up when he saw the silver snow fish hopping by the pool. Swear, your subordinates are not bad. Empty praised Feng De and the others, who were cleaning up the fish. Of course. Look whose subordinate it is, Leng Ruoxue said proudly. Swear, you've also learned to be vain. Empty said with a light smile. I'm not being vain. This is the truth. Leng Ruoxue quibbled. How could she be vain? Miss, everything is packed. Feng De walked to Leng Ruoxue's side and reported. Okay, Feng De, leave a few raw fish slices and grill the rest. Leng Ruoxue said after some thought. She had trained Feng De and the others' culinary skills, so she didn't have to do it herself with them around. Hee, so good. Yes, miss, Feng De answered with a smile. He thought so too. Little Snowy, what are raw fish slices? Are they raw? Icy asked curiously. Boo-hoo. It didn't like raw food. Yes. Leng Ruoxue nodded. Little Snowy, can we not eat it? How can raw food be as delicious as cooked food? Icy's blue eyes welled up with tears as it said pitifully. Little Icy, raw fish slices are different from the raw fish you think. Hee. You'll know in a while. Leng Ruoxue said with slight mystery. She seemed to have not eaten raw fish slices since she came to the boundless heaven continent. The main reason was that her elder brother and the others were not around, and they were too few, so there was no point in eating. Oh. Icy answered doubtfully. Little Snowy's food was delicious, but it still had reservations about the raw fish that Little Snowy mentioned. After a while, the fragrance of the grilled fish entered the noses of everyone and the beasts. The alluring smell seduced their appetite. Len Ruoshua and the others and the beasts found a seat obediently, and the beasts that knew how to cook took the initiative to help grill the fish. After a while, the sashimi was first served on the table Len Ruoshua had set. Then the grilled fish was also served, filling the entire table. Little Icy, come, try the raw fish slices first. Len Ruoshua picked up a thin fish slice with her chopsticks, dipped it in the sauce, and brought it to Icy's mouth. Alright, Icy opened its mouth reluctantly and ate the thin fish slice. Who knew that the fish slice actually melted in its mouth? However, the freshness of the fish and the spiciness of the sauce remained in its mouth for a long time. How is it? Len Ruoshua looked at Icy's slightly dull little face and asked with a smile. How can this be? Empty asked in surprise after eating a slice of raw fish curiously. The taste was really unbelievable, completely different from what he imagined. Chapter 530, Refining the Silver Snow Pill, Advancement, 4, Haha, it's delicious, isn't it? Fengde said with a big smile. His first reaction was similar to Empty's. Yes, the cool taste is sweet and delicious. I didn't expect it to taste so good raw, Empty praised and then began to eat heartily. Little Snowy, give me another piece. That melted in my mouth just now. Icy also reacted after a while. Okay. Len Ruoshua sent another piece to Icy. Icy smacked its lips after eating, its face full of reminiscence. Ha! Len Ruoshua couldn't help laughing when she saw the expression on Icy's little face. Little Snowy, how can this sashimi be so delicious? It tastes completely different from the raw meat I've eaten before. Icy said with a face full of surprise. Of course it's different. The silver snow fish itself likes the cold, so the meat is more delicious and more suitable to be eaten raw. However, the meat you've eaten in the past is different. No one will be willing to eat raw if they can be cooked. Len Ruoshua said with a smile. Yes, that's right. I didn't know how to eat cooked food at all when I was alone in the past. I only knew after following Master. Icy sighed. Alas! How could beasts receive such good treatment unless they followed a good master? Hee hee, my cute master is the best master in the world. Darling jumped into Len Ruokshua's arms and acted coquettishly. Of course, it didn't forget to rub against its cute master's arms. Yes, my master is also very good, Icy said. However, it was the only beast master, so it was not as lively as Little Snowy. At this moment, Len Ruoshua seemed to have suddenly thought of something. She stood up, took some food from the table, and put it in her storage ring. Schwer, where are you going? The freak couldn't help asking when he saw Schwer's actions. I'll send some to Zheng En and Grandpa Du, Len Ruoshua said, almost forgetting about them. I'll go with you, the freak said as he stood up. No need. Eat first. I'll be back soon. Len Ruoshua flashed out after speaking. Len Ruoshua returned quickly. Freak, didn't I tell you to eat first? Len Ruoshua said helplessly as she looked at the freak staring at her. I can't eat without you. The freak's obsidian eyes glittered as he looked at Len Ruoshua aggrievedly. Ah. Be good, I'll feed you, Len Ruoshua quickly coaxed. Alas. The freak was like a child sometimes, always acting coquettishly. That's more like it. The freak was satisfied, and his incomparably handsome face revealed a drop-dead gorgeous smile. Len Ruoshua picked up a piece of grilled fish and brought it to the freak's mouth to coax him to eat it. After eating, the freak's mood became better, and the smile on his face increased. The beasts looked at the smug freak with contempt, and they couldn't help but grumble in their hearts. Humph. They were already so old, but they still liked to act coquettishly and look down on him. At this moment, they had long forgotten that they were the same. They were not much better than the freak. After eating the sumptuous silver snow fish dinner, Fengde, the others, and the beasts took the initiative to pack up. Leng Ruoxiu entered the alchemy room of the purple bamboo hut with the freak to prepare to concoct the silver snow pill. After entering the alchemy room, Leng Ruoxiu found the formula for the silver snow pill from the pill formula her master left her and read it carefully. The silver snow pill was a heaven-grade pill. Apart from the main ingredient being the silver snow fish, it also needed silver bell grass, 5-flavor flower, and a few other additions. These herbs happened to be in her hands. After taking out the herbs she needed, Leng Ruoxiu took out the pill furnace and prepared to officially concoct the silver snow pill. After lighting the pill furnace and preheating it, Leng Ruoxiu first put in a few herbs in order. After the medicinal liquid melted, she put the main ingredient, the silver snow fish, into the furnace. Soon, the high temperature of the pill furnace melted the silver snow fish and mixed it with the medicinal liquid. Then it was purification. After purification, the ball-sized ball of medicinal liquid became the size of a baby's fist. Finally, it was the most critical pill condensation. Leng Ruoxiu waved her hands and cast the spell to condense the pill. Then she sat quietly in front of the pill furnace and waited. A moment later, the pill furnace emitted the unique fragrance of the pill. She knew that the pill was completed. It was said that the success rate of the silver snow pill was very low, but she succeeded in one try. This made her very happy. She impatiently opened the pill furnace and saw more than a dozen crystal-like pills lying in the middle of the pill furnace. The pills were transparent and emitted the fresh fragrance unique to the silver snow fish. Leng Ruoxiu was stunned. Ah! This was the first time she had seen a pill with the smell of fish. Hee. The world was really big and there were all sorts of things. Leng Ruoxiu took out the jade bottle she had long prepared and stored the pills in the furnace. Then she stood up and said to the freak guarding at the side, "Freak, let's go out." Okay. The freak was also very happy to see Shuer refine the silver snow pill. Hee, this should be Shuer's second time refining a heaven-grade pill. It seemed that Shuer's alchemist level was unquestionable as an alchemist respected master. The two of them left the alchemy room and exited the purple bamboo hut directly. They saw Empty sitting on a stone chair not far from the purple bamboo hut drinking tea, looking at them with a smile in his pitch black and bright eyes. "Did you succeed?" Empty asked. "Okay." Leng Ruoxiu nodded and pulled the freak to sit opposite Empty. "Why haven't you gone to rest yet?" Leng Ruoxiu asked curiously. "I can't sleep. At my level, sleeping isn't the main thing apart from cultivation," Empty explained. In fact, he often sat alone until dawn. Sleep had no real meaning to him. "I understand. You're old. Old people are all like this. They don't think much." Leng Ruoxiu teased. Ah. 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down Boundless' forehead, and he was a little helpless. Boo-hoo. Did Shuer despise him? "Shuer, you despise me." Empty complained. "No. I'm just telling the truth. Don't worry. You might not be young anymore, but your appearance will last forever." Leng Ruoxiu said with slight envy after looking at him for a long time. Chapter 531, Refining the Silver Snow Pill, Advancement, 5, Don't be afraid. You will be as young as me when you reach my age, Empty comforted. I'm not afraid. It will take me a long time to reach your age. Leng Ruoxiu said nonchalantly. However, she believed that the day she became an old lady, the freak wouldn't despise her because the freak would also become an old man. Hee. She couldn't help laughing secretly in her heart at this point. "Shuer, what are you thinking? Why are you smiling so cunningly?" Empty couldn't help asking curiously when he saw the expression on Leng Ruoxiu's face. "Nothing. I just suddenly thought of the day when I will become old with the freak." Leng Ruoxiu looked at the freak. "Shuer, we won't age." The freak's forehead was full of black lines as he said helplessly. Alas, he knew what Shuer was thinking from her expression. How could they become old? Their appearance would not change no matter how old they were. Yes, yes. Leng Ruoxue nodded repeatedly. If the freak said he wouldn't age, then he wouldn't age. Shuer, are you planning to go out and advance? Empty asked curiously. Yes, I wonder if I can advance to Mystic Monarch, Leng Ruoxue said gloomily. Her cultivation technique was mainly the heaven-defying skill. She could advance her mystic to the corresponding level only if the heaven-defying skill reached the requirements for advancement. However, her current heaven-defying skill obviously didn't reach the requirements to advance her to Mystic Monarch. Go and try. Anyway, it's just a silver snow pill, Empty suggested. He also knew a little about Shuer's situation, but he felt that there shouldn't be any problem. Yes, the freak and I will find a deserted place to try, Leng Ruoxue said. You can go to the place I brought you last time. It's very remote, and almost no one will go there, Empty reminded them. That place was his private restricted area. No one dared to enter without his permission. Okay. Leng Ruoxue and the freak exited the bracelet and got Ling to cast an invisibility spell on the two of them. They then left the Carefree Hall in invisibility and arrived at the back mountain of the Mystic Association headquarters that Empty brought them to last time with their memories. At the back mountain, Leng Ruoxue summoned the little peacock from the bracelet and sat on its back with the freak. The little peacock carried them down the mountain stream. At the bottom of the stream, Leng Ruoxue and the freak found a wide place and moved their beasts out of the bracelet. Then the two of them found a huge rock and sat cross-legged on it. Leng Ruoxue took out 2 silver snow pills and handed one to the freak. Eat it. Shuer, eat first. I'll eat after you advance, the freak said. He wanted to advance with Shuer. Let's eat together. It's okay if I can't advance. You can protect me after you advance, Leng Ruoxue said. She didn't know if she could advance, but their strength would improve greatly if the freak could advance to Mystic Monarch first. Alright, let's eat together, the freak said helplessly. Boo-hoo. In fact, he could protect Shuer even if he didn't advance to Mystic Monarch because... Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded, and the two of them put the silver snow pill in their mouths. Not long after taking the silver snow pill, the heaven-earth laws for advancement descended. The freak advanced first, but Leng Ruoxue still didn't move. Leng Ruoxue's beasts stared at their master, afraid that their master would feel any discomfort. Alas! They knew their master's condition, so they were very nervous. After the freak advanced, he opened his pitch-black starry eyes. At this moment, his aura was even more restrained, and the aura on his body was sharp and terrifying like an unsheathed sword. The freak advanced to Mystic Monarch, adjusted his breathing slightly, and stared at Leng Ruoxue with the eyes of the beasts. At this moment, Leng Ruoxue's face revealed a painful expression. After taking the silver snow pill, the mystic energy in her body became violent, raging wantonly in her body like a hurricane. After the huge spiritual energy contained in the silver snow pill entered her body, it quickly fused with the violent mystic energy. At first, the two forces collided and fought for territory that belonged to them without giving in to each other. Later, the spiritual energy gradually lost and was absorbed by the mystic energy in Leng Ruoxue's body, converted to mystic energy to fill the insufficient mystic energy in her body. With the replenishment of the spiritual energy contained in the silver snow pill, Leng Ruoxue quickly felt the barrier to advance. With a spurt of energy, she mobilized the mystic energy in her body and launched a fierce attack on the barrier. With a crisp pa sound, she finally broke through to Great Mystic and officially advanced to Mystic Monarch. The monsters and beasts that had been guarding Leng Ruoxue finally relaxed after seeing the heaven-earth laws descend. Leng Ruoxue tried her best to absorb the benefits brought by the descent of the heaven-earth law before it dissipated. Then, she regulated her breathing a little before slowly opening her beautiful eyes. Freak, charm. What happened to you? Leng Ruoxue looked at the man and the beasts surrounding her, feeling a little uneasy. Ah! Their expressions were so serious. Shuer, it's been hard on you, the freak said with heartache. Alas! He really wanted to bear the pain on her behalf when he saw Schwer just now. However, he didn't dare to disturb Schwer and could only watch helplessly. Boo-hoo! This feeling was really bad. Master! Charm and the other beasts also called out softly. Moreover, they looked at Ling Ruoxue with tears in their eyes. Don't be like this. Ling Ruoxue said hurriedly. She admitted that it hurt a little just now, but she really didn't want to see them so worried. Moreover, she was fine now. Master, I'm going to advance. Charm suddenly shouted. Boo-hoo. It hadn't had the chance to care about Master yet. How could it advance so quickly? The heaven-earth laws that advanced one after another descended into the mountain stream just as Charm finished speaking. The beasts advanced one after another like a relay race, and their advancement also brought Ling Ruoxue great benefits. Ha, Master, I've advanced to a transcendent divine beast. Moreover, I'm a level 2 transcendent divine beast. Feng Zhan transformed into his human form and flew to Ling Ruoxue's shoulder to report. Chapter 532, Refining the Silver Snow Pill, Advancement, 6, Not Bad. Ling Ruoxue praised as she caressed Feng Zhan's feathers. Master, I'm also a transcendent divine beast now. Charm also jumped into Ling Ruoxue's arms and rubbed against her. Yes, not bad. Ling Ruoxue caressed Charm's soft fur with satisfaction. Charm had advanced to a level 1 transcendent divine beast after this advancement. Ling Ruoxue turned her gaze to the other beasts and was very satisfied after looking at them because all her beasts had advanced except Baby and Ball Ball this time. Among them, Darling, Quill, Rise, and the other beasts had advanced to level 9 legendary beasts, while White Dawn had advanced to level 5 transcendent divine beasts. Although it had only advanced one level, it was still the strongest among all her beasts. Hey, kitty, I'm a transcendent divine beast too. At this moment, Feng Zhan flew in front of White Dawn and deliberately provoked it. You damn bird. Even if you become a transcendent divine beast, your level isn't higher than mine. What's there to be smug about? White Dawn raised its eyes slightly and said with slight disdain. Master, I request to spar with this damn cat. Feng Zhan looked at Ling Ruoxue and said indignantly. Sparring? All right. I approve. Ling Ruoxue said helplessly. Alas. Why did Feng Zhan and White Dawn like to fight so much? I don't want to spar with you. Ling Ruoxue agreed, but Bai Su was displeased. Damn cat, are you afraid? Feng Zhan continued provoking it. It had to fight this stinky cat anyway because it wanted to know how big the difference between them was now. TCH, you're only a level 2 transcendent divine beast. I'm level 5 now. Why would I be afraid of you? White Dawn said with a disdainful smile. Why don't you dare to spar with me since you're not afraid of me? Feng Zhan glared at him with his small red eyes and said with displeasure. It's not convenient for me these few days. White Dawn rolled his eyes at Feng Zhan and said lightly. It's inconvenient for you these few days? Ha! Do you think you're a female beast? And it's inconvenient for you for the next few days. It's really too funny. Feng Zhan laughed hysterically. He actually lay on the ground exaggeratedly and even covered his stomach with his little wings while laughing. Ling Ruoxue's forehead was full of black lines when she heard what White Dawn said. She couldn't help but grumble in her heart. Did White Dawn eat the wrong thing? Why was it so abnormal today? The beasts didn't laugh as exaggeratedly as Feng Zhan when they heard what White Dawn said, but they also turned their heads and covered their mouths to snicker. Can't it be inconvenient for me for a few days? Humph. White Dawn looked at Feng Zhan and the beasts with slight displeasure. Yes, yes. Since it's inconvenient for the little kitty these few days, I'll spar with you when it's convenient for you. Ha, This king knows how to be protective of the fairer sex. Feng Zhan said with a smile. Get lost. White Dawn roared and jumped into Len Ruoxia's arms, burying its head in her arms and only showing its little butt outside. Ah! Len Ruoxia looked at the little snowball in her arms and was surprised. There was really something wrong with White Dawn. Why would it do such a thing in the past? What happened to it? Swear, let's leave this place. The freak also saw that something was amiss with White Dawn. Okay. Len Ruoxia nodded, stored the beasts in the bracelet, and left with the little peacock on the freak. After returning to the room of the carefree pavilion, Len Ruoxia brought the freak directly into the bracelet. Empty was sitting on a stone chair in front of the purple bamboo house, waiting for them. Congratulations. Empty said after seeing their strength. Thank you. Have a good chat. I'll go see White Dawn. Len Ruoxia felt that something was amiss with White Dawn and Weiless. She was really worried. She went straight to White Dawn's residence after speaking. What happened to White Dawn? Empty asked in puzzlement. Schwer had closed the connection between space and the outside world when she advanced just now, so he was not very clear about what happened in the mountain stream. I don't know. It said it's inconvenient for the next few days. The freak sat down beside Empty and said speechlessly. This was the first time he heard that male beasts also had inconvenient times. Could it be that their menopause had arrived? Pfft. Empty spat out the mouthful of tea he was drinking after hearing the freak's words. Calm down. White Dawn said it himself, the freak hurriedly comforted. Ah. Schwer's beasts are very different. Empty came to an important conclusion. Yes. They're all good at acting, the freak said through gritted teeth. Sometimes, he hated Schwer's beasts to the core, but sometimes he was very grateful to them because they liked to compete for favor with him and protect Schwer. Alas. So conflicted. Ha. Empty looked at the freak and couldn't help but laugh. In fact, he knew very well how depressed this man was. However, it couldn't be helped. Schwer's beasts liked their masters so much. What's so funny? The freak rolled his eyes at Empty and said gloomily. Ha! Empty laughed even louder. Len Ruoxia came to the bamboo hut where Bai Su was staying with Empty's hearty laughter. She knocked on the door gently and pushed it open to enter. Bai Su was curled up in the corner of the bed like a ball in the room, looking pitiful. Len Ruoxia's heart ached so much. Bai Su. Len Ruoxia walked to the bed and hugged Bai Su, who had curled into a ball. Master. The transmogrified White Dawn looked up at Len Ruoxia with watery green eyes, aggrieved. Ah. White Dawn, what's wrong with you? Len Ruoxia asked in puzzlement. In her impression, White Dawn was not a beast that liked to cry. Why was it so weak today? Today is my birthday. I miss home, White Dawn said with a slight sob. Boo-hoo. It was too embarrassing. It had never thought about home after staying in the mystic realm for so long. However, after being with its master, it saw the warmth between its master and its family and actually missed home. Especially yesterday, it remembered its parents and its siblings who often fooled around with it. Be good, don't cry. You might not have a family by your side now, but you still have me, your master, and so many beast companions. Len Ruoxia quickly coaxed. She felt quite uncomfortable seeing White Dawn like this. Fortunately, she had always been with her family. Otherwise, she would probably be as sad as White Dawn. Chapter 533, It's not convenient for me during these few days. 1, yes. White Dawn nodded. Its master was right. It was not alone. It still had its most beloved master and so many beast companions. Then don't be secretly sad, understand? Len Ruoxia ordered. Alas. She thought she cared about her beasts, but she didn't even realize Baiza's thoughts. She was such a failure. She wasn't a good master. Boo-hoo. Okay, White Dawn answered obediently. White Dawn, let's go out and celebrate your birthday together. Leng Ruoxue suggested. She didn't seem to have a birthday all along. It seemed like no one around her had a birthday. No need, master, White Dawn said shyly. It was too embarrassing to cry in front of its master. Why not? Master has decided. The people and beasts around me have to celebrate their birthdays in the future, Leng Ruoxue said resolutely. She left the bamboo hut with White Dawn in her arms after speaking. After exiting the bamboo hut, Leng Ruoxue carried White Dawn to the table where the Freak and Empty were sitting. After placing White Dawn on the table, she called out softly, Qingju. Big sister. Qingju appeared in front of Leng Ruoxue and the others. Qingju, call everyone and the beasts out. I have something to announce. Leng Ruoxue ordered. Okay, Qingju answered and then disappeared. Soon, Leng Ruhan, the others, and the beasts emerged from their rooms. Shuer, why did you call us out? Leng Ruhan asked curiously after walking to Leng Ruoxue's side. I have two things to announce. Firstly, the Freak and I have just advanced to Mystic Monarch. Of course, we took the Silver Snow Pill to advance directly, so you have to cultivate diligently and strive to become Great Mystic as soon as possible. You can take the Silver Snow Pill then. Leng Ruoxue announced with a smile. Wow, miss, is this true? This is great. Fengde couldn't help becoming excited as soon as Leng Ruoxue finished speaking. This was really good news. Ha! Of course it's true. When have I ever lied to you? Leng Ruoxue pretended to be displeased. Ha, Shuer, congratulations on advancing to Mystic Monarch, Leng Ruhan said happily. The stronger his sister was, the happier he would be as an elder brother. Big brother, you will also become Mystic Monarch soon, Leng Ruoxue reminded. Her elder brother and the others had very good aptitude. It was only a matter of time before they advanced to Great Mystic. Yes, I will work hard, Leng Ruhan said resolutely. Shuer was already a Mystic Monarch, so he couldn't lag behind his sister too much. In fact, he would have entered seclusion long ago if he didn't want to accompany Shuer more. Miss, what's the second matter? Fengde asked curiously. The second one. It has to do with all of you. I've decided that from now on, each of your birthdays will be celebrated for you. Leng Ruoxue continued to announce. Birthday. Everyone was stunned and looked at Leng Ruoxue in surprise. What's the matter? Leng Ruoxue asked in puzzlement when she saw their expressions. Miss, I don't celebrate my birthday. Fengde scratched his head and said helplessly. He was not a child. Why should he celebrate his birthday? Miss, I don't know my birthday. I'm an orphan. Lin Yuan said. He had never had a birthday since he was young because he didn't know when his birthday was at all. Moreover, no one had given him one. It's okay. It's CAE the same day as me if you don't know when yours is supposed to be, Leng Ruoxue said. These subordinates and beasts were her family, so she had to make them feel at home. What happened with White Dawn couldn't happen again. I want mine to be the same as Big Sister's, Qingju said happily. He was an artifact spirit and didn't have a birthday. Okay. Anyone who doesn't know when their birthday is can celebrate it with me, Leng Ruoxue repeated. Big sister, I don't remember my birthday, baby said aggrievedly. Boo-hoo. It couldn't remember when it was born, so it couldn't remember when its birthday was. Baby, you can have the same birthday as Big Sister. Leng Ruoxue coaxed. Okay. Baby nodded. It was going to celebrate its birthday with Big Sister on the same day. It was so happy. Tell Qingju the dates of your birthdays if you know them. Tell him if you want to celebrate on my birthday. Qingju, remind Big Sister at all times from now on. Leng Ruoxue ordered Qing Ju after speaking to everyone and the beasts. Okay. Qing Ju nodded. Today is White Dawn's birthday, so we'll celebrate it later. Everyone, go and prepare now. We'll be giving White Dawn a birthday gift later. Leng Ruoxue said with a smile. It was already very late, but it was a birthday. It only happened once a year, so it had to pass late as long as it wasn't past midnight. Okay. Everyone hurriedly ran back to their rooms to prepare after hearing this news. Shuer, I want my birthday to be the same as yours too, the freak said. Ah. Did you forget your birthday too? Leng Ruoxue teased with a light smile. No, but I want it to be the same day as you, the freak said willfully. He was jealous seeing that other people or beasts could celebrate Shuer's birthday with her, so he wanted to celebrate with her too. Okay, you can celebrate on the same day as me too, okay? Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. Empty, what about you? Leng Ruoxue turned her gaze to Empty and asked again. Ah. I've lived for too long. I don't remember when my birthday is anymore, Empty said awkwardly. The little beast didn't remember its birthday because it couldn't remember, but he forgot because he had lived for too long. Boo-hoo. This was really too embarrassing. I don't remember either, Icy said gloomily. Alas. It was the only Kirin in this world, and it didn't even have a clansman, so it was really jealous of those dragons and phoenixes sometimes. They had so many clansmen. Boo-hoo. Chapter 534, It's not convenient for me during these few days, too. Alright, stay with me, Leng Ruoxue said quickly. Alas. She was really afraid that these two would cry directly if she said too much. Yes. Empty and Icy hurriedly nodded. However, today is White Dawn's birthday, so quickly prepare your birthday gifts, Leng Ruoxue urged. Shuer, what birthday present do you intend to give? Empty asked curiously. He didn't know what kind of birthday present to give the white tiger. What did the tiger like? He had saved up a lot of good things, but he didn't know what to give. How worrying. You'll know later if I don't tell you. Empty, a birthday gift is just a token of your sincerity. It doesn't have to be too expensive. Leng Ruoxue reminded him and then pulled the freak to help her. Empty looked at White Dawn lying on the table and hesitated for a long time before asking, White Dawn, do you have any gifts you want? I don't. White Dawn frowned and said after some thought. Ah. Then what should I give you? Empty was in a dilemma. Boo-hoo. What should he give I? Anything. It's okay if you don't give me a gift too, White Dawn said. It was already very happy that they had this intention. It really didn't care what they gave. How can that do? I'll think about it carefully. Empty held his chin and started thinking. Master, help me gift something to it too. Icy reminded. Boo-hoo. It didn't have much wealth. Okay. Empty nodded and continued thinking. After a long while, everyone and the beasts gathered in front of the purple bamboo hut. Where's Master? Charm asked curiously when it didn't see Leng Ruoxue. She went to prepare a gift, Empty said. Boo-hoo. He hadn't thought of what to give. Oh. Charm nodded, its heart full of anticipation. It might not be its birthday today, but it was still very curious what gift its master would give White Dawn. Fengde and the others took the initiative to prepare food when they saw that their miss was not back yet, so the silver snow fish in the pool suffered again. Moreover, almost all the fish, prawns, and crabs in the pool were not spared. Leng Ruoxue and the freak returned after they prepared the food. Ah. You're fast. Leng Ruoxue looked at the table full of food and was speechless. How many days were they planning to eat? Could they finish so much? If she remembered correctly, they had just finished the silver snow fish banquet not long ago. Isn't today White Dawn's birthday? Of course we have to prepare more. Fengde scratched his head and smiled foolishly. Can you eat it? Len Ruoxue asked curiously. Yes, yes. There won't be a problem eating a cow, Lin Yuan quickly promised. Okay, okay. No one is allowed to sleep if you can't finish it, Len Ruoxue said very seriously. She hated wasting. Master, don't worry. We can finish it, Ling promised. It hadn't eaten to its fill previously during the silver snow fish feast. Now that it had the chance to eat to its heart's content, of course it had to seize the opportunity. I can tell. You're all foodies. Len Ruoxue said helplessly. Hee hee. Everyone and the beasts laughed foolishly. Where's our birthday girl? Len Ruoxue looked around but found no trace of Baisu. Master, I'm here, White Dawn said shyly as it poked its little head out of the corner. Why are you hiding there? Are you shy? Len Ruoxue teased as she hugged White Dawn. I'm not. White Dawn would never admit that it was really shy. Boo-hoo. It was not young anymore. It was just a birthday. How embarrassing. This was too abnormal. Okay, no. Len Ruoxue didn't expose it and directly placed it on the table. She took out a small birthday hat from her ring and brought it to White Dawn's head. Miss, what is this? Fengde asked curiously. He had never seen anything on Baizu's head. This is called a birthday hat. You will also wear it on your birthday in the future, Len Ruoxue explained. She remembered that she would bring this thing every time someone celebrated their birthday in her previous life, so she also got one for Baisu. Hee hee, it felt pretty good. Hee hee, it's pretty good, Len Ruhan praised as he looked at the slightly shy Baisu. Thank you, Master, White Dawn said gratefully, its green eyes a little moist again. Silly, I still have a gift. Len Ruoxue took out a table from her ring and placed it on the ground. Then she took out a large cake that was half the size of a person and placed it on it. Master, what is this? White Dawn opened its green eyes and asked curiously. Oh, this thing smells so good. Is it food? This is called a birthday cake. It's eaten on birthdays, Len Ruoxue continued to explain. She had been in the alternate world for almost 2 years, and this was the first time she had made a birthday cake. In the past, she had only made longevity noodles for her grandfather once on his birthday. Alas! At that time, there was no condition to make a cake. After she refined the oven, she didn't have time because she was either in seclusion or her grandfather and the others were in seclusion, and they had never been able to gather together. However, after this time, she had decided that she would make birthday cake for everyone and the beasts for their birthdays as a celebration whenever she had time. Master, thank you. Boo-hoo, White Dawn was so touched that it cried. White Dawn, why are you crying? Len Ruoxue said helplessly. Alas! It was just a cake, but it actually made White Dawn cry. What should she do? Master, I'm so happy, White Dawn sobbed, crying even harder, its fur wet. Don't cry if you're happy. Be good, everyone is looking at you. Len Ruoxue hugged the crying Baisu and coaxed. That's right, little kitty. Why are you crying? This isn't like you. Don't embarrass the beast. Feng Zhan said mockingly. In fact, he was very envious of Baisu. Boo-hoo. No one had celebrated his birthday for him since he was young. Chapter 535, It's not convenient for me during these few days. 3, Damn bird, I'm crying from joy. None of your business. White Dawn wiped the tears off its face with its little paw and roared at Feng Zhan furiously. I'm doing this for your own good. Don't be ungrateful. Feng Zhan said aggrievedly. Humph. Who wants to appreciate your kindness? White Dawn said nonchalantly. Alright, stop arguing. Bai Su, you're the birthday boy today. Blow the candles quickly, Len Ruoxue urged as she lit the candles on the cake. Oh. White Dawn answered obediently and then gently blew out the candle. Ha, White Dawn, happy birthday. This is a gift from the freak and me. Len Ruoxue said with a smile and handed him a beautifully wrapped gift. Thank you. White Dawn hugged the gift Len Ruoxue gave it with its little paw, very happy. Hee, if it remembered correctly, this should be the first time it had received a gift in its life. Happy birthday. Everyone and the beasts mimicked Len Ruoxue and presented their gifts. In the blink of an eye, White Dawn's face was full of gifts. Thank you. White Dawn sobbed again, and its green eyes welled up with tears. Kitten, this is my gift to you. You will definitely like it. Feng Zhan also took out the gift he had prepared and deliberately placed it in White Dawn's arms. Thank you, damn bird. White Dawn said irritably. You're welcome. You'll give it to me on my birthday too. Ah. Master said it's called exchanging gifts. Feng Zhan said proudly. The gifts are all here. Everyone, you can cut the cake now, Len Ruoxue hurriedly urged lest these two started fighting again. Miss, I'll do it, Feng De volunteered. Then he picked up the knife on the table, cut the cake into several small pieces, and distributed them to all humans and beasts. Everyone and the beasts ate the sweet cake, tasted the delicious food, and chatted happily. Time passed by slowly. It was almost dawn outside the bracelet after they celebrated Bai Zu's birthday. Len Ruoxue urged everyone and the beasts to quickly rest when she saw that it was getting late. She then pulled the freak back to the purple bamboo hut. Len Ruoxue and the others almost didn't sleep for the entire night. There were also people who didn't sleep for the entire night in the Alchemist Association of Carefree City. In the main hall of the Alchemist Association, Sun Wei sat on the president's main seat with a gloomy handsome face. Several elders of the headquarters were sitting below him. The other elders and the former president had been locked up by him, so there were not many people who could work for him in the headquarters now. How is it? Did you find him? Sun Wei suppressed his anger and asked his subordinate standing in the middle of the hall. Young master, the Sun family's yard has been cleaned up, but we didn't find any trace of Zheng En, a man in his 30s reported. Didn't find anything? Continue searching. Sun Wei ordered furiously. Humph. The big explosion in the Sun family's side yard today must have been done by Zheng En's accomplices. Even though the figure of the male corpse found in the cell was similar to Zheng En's, he didn't believe that the person was Zheng En because that person had long been smashed beyond recognition by the exploding cell. There was no way to identify him at all. Humph. He had chased Zheng En for more than a decade and Zheng En was still alive and well, so he didn't believe that Zheng En would die so easily. Moreover, Du Min, who was locked up in the Alchemist Association, was also gone, so he had even less reason to believe that Zheng En would die. Young master, the Sun family's side yard and the Alchemist Association have searched and didn't find any traces of anyone escaping. However, I think it's very possible that they have already left Carefree City, the man analyzed. Impossible, their movements won't be so fast. They must still be in Carefree City. Search the entire city from tomorrow onwards. Sun Wei denied his subordinate's deduction and ordered. Search the entire city. The man was stunned and said in surprise. What? Is there a problem? Sun Wei glared and questioned with slight displeasure. Young master, it's probably inappropriate to search the entire city. This is Carefree City after all. Those mystics won't agree if we search the entire city, the man reminded. This was not Sun Zhou City. The Mystic Association would definitely intervene if the Sun family was too arrogant in Carefree City. You don't have to worry about the Mystic Association headquarters. Well, just search you. Sun Wei said impatiently. Humph. He could ask his aunt to settle the Mystic Association headquarters, so he didn't care about the reactions of the mystics at all. Yes, the man answered and left. President, His Excellency Du Min has also disappeared. Will he come back to cause trouble for us? An elder asked worriedly after the man left. Humph. Everyone has escaped. What's the use of worrying now? I told you long ago to send more people to watch him, but you didn't take it seriously, Sun Wei said coldly. He was very angry with these elders, but he still had to rely on their support now, so he could only bear with it. President, you can't blame us. No one realized how he was rescued at all. The guards at the door didn't see anyone enter that room, except for Miss Lan Ninger, another elder said. Do you want to say that Ninger released Du Min? Sun Wei questioned. President, that's not what Elder Wang meant. However, Miss Lan Ninger does have the intention to release His Excellency Du Min. Everyone knows that. Do you think His Excellency Du Min agreed to take Miss Lan Ninger as his disciple, and Miss Lan was afraid that we wouldn't agree to let him go, so she secretly let him go, an elder in black said. Impossible. Ninger will tell me if he wants to let her go, Sun Wei said with certainty because he had told Ninger that he could let Du Min go for her sake as long as Du Min was willing to take her in as a disciple. However, as far as he knew, Ninger had never been able to convince Du Min to take her in as a disciple. Therefore, Ninger would definitely not let that old man go. President, women's hearts are like needles at the bottom of the sea. Is Miss Lan really on your side? An elder asked doubtfully. He heard that Lan Ninger was no longer so favored in the Lan family, so he didn't think that Lan Ninger would have any feelings for the president at all. Humph. How many young ladies nurtured by families had true feelings? Most of them were just pawns. Moreover, everyone knew that Lan Ninger liked the young master of the Leng family. It was not that he belittled their president, but no matter how outstanding the president was, he could not be compared with the young master of the Leng family. Chapter 536, Blowing Up the Two Great Associations, 1, What do you mean? Sun Waiting stood up from his seat and glared at the elder who spoke just now. His fierce gaze seemed to want to poke a hole in him. I don't mean anything. I just hope that you don't trust women so much, President, especially a woman who doesn't care so much about you, the elder said bluntly. Humph. Everyone could see that Lan Ninger was just using the president, but the president was dazzled by beauty. This isn't your business. You don't have to worry. Sun Wei suppressed the anger in his heart and roared. I'm doing this for the president's own good. Forget it if you don't want to listen. The elder closed his eyes and stopped talking after speaking. It's getting late. Elders, go and rest. Sun Wei took a deep breath and said. President, rest early too, the elders sitting said politely and then stood up to leave the hall. Sun Wei sat alone in his seat for a while after everyone left. Then he got up and left. Sun Wei strode back to his residence. There was a huge explosion in the Sun family's yard, so he temporarily stayed in the Alchemist Association. This used to be his master's residence. Before he approached the room, he heard sobbing coming from inside. He pushed the door open and walked in directly to see Lan Ninger lying on the bed crying very sadly. Ninger. Sun Wei came to the bed and embraced the crying Lan Ninger. Did you find him? Lan Ninger wiped the tears off her face and asked in a choked voice. No, I've already ordered the entire city to search tomorrow. They will definitely be found, Sun Wei promised. Yes, we have to find the person who saved Zhengyan. I want to chop him into pieces, grind his bones and scatter his ashes. Lan Ninger said with hatred. Humph. She wouldn't have been so embarrassed if it wasn't for the person who saved Zhengyan. She had lost all her face now. How could she marry Big Brother Leng in the future? If Big Brother Leng knew about her and Sun Wei, he probably wouldn't want her anymore. Boo-hoo. Therefore, she hated Zheng En's accomplices to the core. I will. Ninger, do you think Leng Ruoxue and the others are the ones who saved Sun Wei? Sun Wei guessed. He felt that Leng Ruoxue and the others were the most suspicious. He really couldn't think of anyone else who would dare to go against him other than them. Possibly. Lan Ninger said through gritted teeth. She also hated Leng Ruoxue and the others to the core, especially that damn little red bird. Her status in the Lan family wouldn't have plummeted if it weren't for that damn bird. How could she be miserable to the point of hanging out with Sun Wei? Leng Ruoxue, How dare she go against my Sun family? She's really tired of living, Sun Wei said hatefully. Leng Ruoxue's beasts had beaten him up badly in Blue Cloud City. If he hadn't escaped after recovering, he would probably have died in the hands of those people now. The Sun family? The Lan family doesn't care either, so you don't have to be too angry. Lan Ninger leaned into Sun Wei's arms and comforted him. Seems like Leng Ruoxue is the common enemy of our two families. Sun Wei said with a somewhat smug smile. He didn't believe Leng Ruoxue could still have a foothold in the boundless heaven continent after offending the Sun and Lan families. Those old farts from the Lan family don't treat Leng Ruoxue as an enemy at all, so don't expect them to deal with Leng Ruoxue with you. Lan Ninger immediately doused Sun Wei with cold water and reminded. So what? Do we need two superfamilies to deal with an elementary mystic? The Alchemist Association headquarters would be enough to settle her, Sun Wei said confidently. In fact, he didn't take Leng Ruoxue and the others seriously at all. He just didn't know their whereabouts all along, so he had no way to deal with them even if he wanted to. Leng Ruoxue's strength is nothing. However, I heard that her beasts are very powerful. Lan Ninger frowned slightly. Even the mighty second elder of the Lan family was afraid of Leng Ruoxue's beasts. He was so scared that he trembled whenever he heard the words Leng Ruoxue. So what if the beasts are powerful? We have so many mystic sovereigns as our fighters. Can't we deal with a few beasts? Moreover, President Wu hates that ugly monster to the core. It won't be a problem to deal with Leng Ruoxue at all with his help, Sun Wei said with certainty. Really? Lan Ninger said doubtfully. In fact, she didn't really believe Sun Wei because she didn't know the grudge between Wu Gong and Leng Ruoxue. Of course, Sun Wei said and told Lan Ninger about the conflict between Wu Gong and Leng Ruoxue. After hearing this, Lan Ninger immediately broke out into a smile and said happily, "That's great." Leng Ruoxue is dead meat this time. By the way, tell President Wu immediately to deal with her as long as we find her whereabouts so that we can reap the benefits. Ninger, you're so naughty. However, I like it. Sun Wei hugged Lan Ninger tightly and smiled wretchedly. Then he began to stroke Lan Ninger again. Aya, you're so annoying. Lan Ninger said with a coquettish smile and dodged Sun Wei's hairy hands and feet everywhere. Soon, the two of them rolled onto the bed again. The next day. In the carefree hall. Leng Ruoxue and the others were still sleeping soundly in the bracelet when they were woken up by Qing Ju's urging. Qing Ju, what's the matter? Leng Ruoxue still had her eyes closed and said with some displeasure. It was almost dawn before she slept. She was still not awake yet, but why did Qing Ju wake her up so early? She hated it when others disturbed her sleep the most. Big sister, someone outside wants to search the rooms of the inn, Qing Ju said softly. Alas, he knew his sister's habits very well. He wouldn't have woken her up if it weren't for the urgent matter. Oh. Got it. Leng Ruoxue opened her beautiful eyes very reluctantly and woke the freak up. The two of them washed up simply, called empty, and left the bracelet. Someone knocked on the door just as they returned to their room. Before Leng Ruoxue and the others could open the door, the person outside the door was a little impatient. He kicked open the door and barged in. Chapter 537, Blowing Up the Two Great Associations, 2, Why are there 3 people in this room? The leader looked at the 3 people in front of him in amazement. Why can't there be 3 people? Leng Ruoxue asked in displeasure. Humph. If she was not mistaken, these should be people sent by Sun Wei. How rude. Shopkeeper, why are there 3 people in this room? The leader turned to the shopkeeper beside him. What's there to fuss about? The rooms are reserved by guests. How can I bother about how many people want to stay in the same room? The shopkeeper said nonchalantly, not taking the leader seriously at all. Who are you? What right do you have to barge into our room? Shopkeeper, your Carefree Pavilion is the best inn in Carefree City. Such a thing actually happened. How disappointing. Leng Ruoxue looked at the shopkeeper, her beautiful face full of anger. Miss Yi, I'm really sorry. President Wu agreed to this, the shopkeeper said helplessly. Humph. What does President Wu think we mystics are? He actually sent people to do ward rounds? Leng Ruoxue questioned. Miss Yi, right? Something big happened in Carefree City yesterday, so I was tasked to search the city by the presidents of the Alchemist Association and Mystic Association, the leader explained. He didn't want to anger this beautiful young lady either. Alas. He really didn't expect that there would be a woman more beautiful than Miss Lan Ninger in this world. Oh, I wonder what happened. Leng Ruoxue pretended to be curious. Someone attacked President Sun's yard yesterday, so we're searching for those people, the leader said. Do you have any leads? Leng Ruoxue asked with a slight frown. Yes, but we haven't found the whereabouts of those people yet, so we searched everywhere. Ah. Please forgive us if we were rude, the leader said apologetically. Oh, it's okay. I can understand. Your President's son is really unlucky. Send his regards for me. Leng Ruoxue said sympathetically. Okay. Miss Yi, well, take our leave then, the leader said very politely and left the room with his subordinates. Miss Yi, I'm so sorry for scaring you, the shopkeeper said apologetically after they left. It's okay. I know it's not your fault, Leng Ruoxue comforted. She had a good impression of the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper bowed to Leng Ruoxue and the others and left the room. What do you think? Leng Ruoxue asked the freak and Empty after the eyesore left. It's expected, Empty said calmly. It would be abnormal if Sun Wei didn't search the entire city like this. Then shouldn't we do something? Leng Ruoxue asked with a naughty smile. Alas. Sun Wei searched wantonly like this. How disappointed would he be if he couldn't find anything in the end? Schwer, what do you want to do? The freak asked curiously. Schwer had so many ideas, hee. Isn't he looking for us all over the world? How can he find us in the inn? Why don't we go out for a walk? Leng Ruoxue suggested. No, if he sees you, he might have designs on you. The freak objected resolutely. Boo-hoo. Schwer originally said that she would leave after saving Zheng En and the little old man, but it seemed like she had to deal with Sun Wei now. What are you afraid of with Empty around? Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. In fact, she didn't intend to show herself in front of Sun Wei at all. Alas. The freak was thinking too much. All right then. The freak said very reluctantly after looking at Empty. Alas. He naturally had to cooperate well since Schwer had already thought of a plan. That's more like it. Leng Ruoxue praised as if she was petting a puppy. Schwer, where do you intend to go? Empty asked in realization. Do you think the little old man will be angry if I blow up the Alchemist Association? Leng Ruoxue said uncertainly. Alas. The little old man was now considered half of her own people, so she was a little hesitant. I don't know if the little old man will be angry, but I know that Sun Wei will definitely be mad. Empty said with certainty. Alas. The Sun family's yard had already been blown up. If the Alchemist Association headquarters continued to destroy it, then Sun Wei would probably be sleeping on the streets. Hee, I just want to anger him to death. Empty, How about I blow up the Mystic Association headquarters while I'm at it? Leng Ruoxue raised her eyebrows slightly and suggested. Although Empty had said it before, she believed that the relationship between Empty and the Mystic Association headquarters was definitely not shallow. Therefore, she naturally had to greet Empty since she had such thoughts. Empty was at a loss for words. This girl was addicted to the explosion. But what could he say? Shuer, what about Lan Ming's master if you blow up the Mystic Association headquarters? The freak frowned and said awkwardly. Right. It's better not to blow up the Mystic Association headquarters then. Empty took the opportunity to reason. But I still want to blow up those two headquarters. What should I do? Isn't there a saying that the new won't come if the old don't disappear? These two headquarters are very rich, so let them build a new one. As for little Lan Lan's master, I'll empty his seclusion place, hee. Leng Ruoxue said her plan with a smile. Then her beautiful eyes looked at the two handsome men in front of her without blinking, hoping to obtain their support. Shuer, blow it up if you want to. As long as you're happy, the freak hurriedly said. Boo-hoo. Shuer's tender gaze made his heart beat non-stop. Empty. Leng Ruoxue turned her gaze to Empty after obtaining the freak's support and looked at him very attentively. Ah. Blow it up. Empty sighed helplessly. Hee, I knew you would definitely support me. Let's go quickly. Leng Ruoxue said impatiently. Then she summoned Ling and got her to cast an invisibility spell on them before the three of them left the inn. After the three of them left the Carefree Pavilion, they set the Mystic Association headquarters as their first destination. Chapter 538, Blowing Up the Two Great Associations, 3. After reaching the Mystic Association headquarters, Leng Ruoxue released her beasts and distributed some explosive balls to them. Then she gave them some instructions and got them to split up. Half an hour later, the beasts who completed the mission returned to Leng Ruoxue's side excitedly. Beloved master, we have completed the mission. Darling jumped into Leng Ruoxue's arms and acted coquettishly. Good, well done. Let's go. Leng Ruoxue praised and then turned to the freak and Wayless. Okay. The two of them nodded, and then the three of them left the Mystic Association headquarters. After leaving the Mystic Association headquarters, Leng Ruoxue and the others arrived at the Alchemist Association headquarters with familiarity. After telling their beasts to split up, Leng Ruoxue and the others came to the door of the cell. After burying an explosive ball at the door, the three of them quietly left. After waiting for a while at the entrance of the Alchemist Association, Leng Ruoxue's beasts ran out and snuggled up to her, reporting their work to her non-stop. Master, it's done, Dazzle said. Master, it's all buried, Ling said. Hee, Master, the mission is completed. Feng Zhan smiled evilly. Apart from completing the mission, he also gave Sun Wei a small gift. Yes, well done. We can go back and wait for news. Leng Ruoxue stored the beasts in the bracelet after speaking, and the three of them slipped back to the Carefree Hall. After returning to the Carefree Pavilion, Leng Ruoxue and the others went directly to the living room. Lan Ming and the others were already sitting there waiting for them. Little Snowy, you're already a mystic monarch? Lan Ming stood up from his seat in surprise when he saw Leng Ruoxue. How long has it been? These two perverts were actually mystic monarchs. Boo-hoo. This was a huge blow to him. Yes, calm down. The freak and I took the silver snow pill, Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. Alas. She didn't want to take the pill to advance if the enemy wasn't this strong. Silver snow pill. Where did you get the silver snow pill? Lan Ming was even more surprised. Silver snow pill was a pill that was priceless. The success rate of refining it was very low, so it had always been difficult to obtain with money. I refined it myself. Leng Ruoxue rolled her eyes at Lan Ming and said calmly, as if what she said was a very ordinary thing. Ah! You can even refine the silver snow pill. Amazing! Lan Ming really didn't know what to say. Alas! In fact, he should have adapted long ago, right? It hadn't been a day or two since Leng Ruoxue and the group of perverts knocked his common sense out. It's okay, Leng Ruoxue said modestly. Miss, are you an alchemy supremacy? Chen Wu couldn't help but interrupt as he listened to their conversation. He knew that Leng Ruoxue was an alchemist, but he had never thought that she could actually concoct a heaven-grade pill. I don't know either. I've never done a level test. To put it bluntly, I'm an unlicensed mystic who knows alchemy. Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile. Ah. What do you mean by an unconfirmed mystic who knows alchemy? Chen Wu asked in puzzlement with 2 drops of cold sweat dripping down his forehead. You don't understand. I'm an unregistered alchemist. I might know how to concoct pills, but it's not legal, so it's best not to ask me for pills. Otherwise, I won't be held responsible if they die from eating them. Leng Ruoxue said very irresponsibly. Ah. Everyone was a little confused after hearing Leng Ruoxue's words. They thought, Miss, we've eaten a lot of your pills, and you're only telling us now. However, the effects of Miss pills were really extraordinary. After they ate them, their old illnesses that had not healed for many years actually healed, so they would be all right even if they died from eating them. Ha, don't be scared. You didn't take poison. You won't die. Leng Ruoxue looked at their expressions and laughed happily. Miss, we're not afraid, Chen Wu said speechlessly. Alas! They had not been with Leng Ruoxue for long, but they more or less knew some of Miss' bad taste. That's good. By the way, why are you all gathered here? Leng Ruoxue asked with a light smile. Miss, Sun Wei has already sent people to look for us everywhere in the city. We mainly want to ask if Miss has any plans, Chen Wu said bluntly. He's not looking for us. You have to calm down. As for the plan. Not yet, Leng Ruoxue comforted. Lass, don't you have a plan yet? The little old man happened to hear Leng Ruoxue's words after coming to the living room and couldn't help asking. Alas, he felt uneasy if he didn't teach Sun Wei a lesson early. Grandpa Du, let's talk after Zheng En recuperates. There's no hurry. Leng Ruoxue comforted him. She hoped that Grandpa Du wouldn't blame her after knowing what she had just done. Okay, that's good too. Schwer, you've advanced to Mystic Monarch, the little old man said after some thought. He saw Leng Ruoxue's strength and was shocked. Ah! It had only been a night, how did Schwer become a Mystic Monarch? He remembered that Schwer was only an elementary mystic when they split up previously. She was also a great mystic yesterday. He hadn't seen her for only a night, but this girl had already become a Mystic Monarch. Would Schwer become a mystic supremacy if he woke up after a night's sleep? It was not impossible with this girl's abnormal cultivation speed. Yes, I took the silver snow pill last night, Leng Ruoxue said honestly. In fact, she didn't want others to think of her as too abnormal. Oh, I see. The little old man wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and thought, fortunately, it shouldn't be possible for someone to be so abnormal. Schwer, where did you get the silver snow pill? That thing isn't easy to obtain. The little old man said in surprise. He was originally thinking that he would ask his old friend for a few silver snow fish to refine some silver snow pills for Schwer after this matter was over. He didn't expect this girl to obtain it herself. I refined it myself. 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down Leng Ruoxue's forehead. Alas! Why did Grandpa Du ask this as well? Schwer, you can refine the silver snow pill? The little old man asked in disbelief. He knew that Schwer was an alchemist, but he didn't expect this girl to be at the level of an alchemy supremacy. Boo-hoo. He was an alchemy supremacy at such an old age, but Schwer was already an alchemy supremacy. She's still young. This was too shocking. Chapter 539, Blowing Up the Two Great Associations. 4. Your Excellency Du Min, don't take it to heart. Lan Ming looked at the little old man's expression and said with some pity. In fact, he slowly got used to it after being attacked for a long time. Yes, I want. The little old man patted Lan Ming's shoulder and said empathetically. Alas. He could understand Lan Ming now. Shuer and the others were indeed abnormal. Grandpa Du. Leng Ruoxue said speechlessly. Alas. Did they have to do this? Their expressions seemed to suggest that they were deeply affected, but she really didn't think she was anything extraordinary. Lass. I'm fine. Alas, I'll get used to it slowly, the little old man hurriedly said. Grandpa Du, how is Zheng En? Leng Ruoxue changed the topic. Almost healed. Lass, Sun Wei sent people to search just now. Fortunately, Zheng En and I were invisible, so we weren't discovered by them. By the way, do you have any good plans to get rid of that ingrate? The little old man asked angrily. Grandpa Du, don't worry. Tell me when Zheng En is completely healed. I promised Zheng En to let him take revenge personally, Leng Ruoxue comforted. Yes, I know. I'm just asking, the little old man said shyly. He was a little anxious. Grandpa Du, will you be angry if the Alchemist Association disappears? Leng Ruoxue probed. Ah. Why did the Alchemist Association disappear? The little old man's face was full of question marks. Could it be that Shuer did something again? Just as the little old man was puzzled, a loud bang answered him. He was stunned, but he quickly reacted. Ah! Could Shuer have even blown up the Alchemist Association? Immediately after, there were several loud bangs. The little old man was confused. Did this girl want to blow up Carefree City? Lan Ming and the others quickly left the living room and ran out to watch the commotion after hearing the commotion. They returned a long time later, each with a very calm expression on his face. Then, neither of them said anything and sat directly in the chair. Ah! What's the situation outside? The little old man couldn't help asking when he saw that no one was speaking. It's still all right. Chen Wu wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and said calmly. Ah! He couldn't make a fuss lest he was laughed at by Miss and the others. Where did the explosion come from? The little old man didn't believe him and continued asking stubbornly. The Mystic Association headquarters and the Alchemist Association headquarters, Lan Ming answered the little old man's question very kindly. Luckily, the place where his master was in seclusion was safe and sound. So what if the Mystic Association headquarters exploded? He didn't care. Did it all explode? The little old man asked with a black face. Alas! The girl was really ruthless. Yes, except for the cells, the Alchemist Association headquarters is in ruins. As for the Mystic Association headquarters, only the place where my master was in seclusion was intact. The other places have also become a junkyard, Lan Ming explained. He actually wanted to laugh when he thought of the situation he saw. I'm afraid the president of the Alchemist Association and the Mystic Association will be sleeping on the streets this time. Leng Ruoxue said with a light smile, her beautiful face full of gloating. They won't sleep outdoors. They can stay in the inn. Empty said lightly. What if their luck is bad and wherever they stay explodes? Leng Ruoxue said with a naughty smile. Then they're really unlucky. Cheng Wu said sympathetically. He didn't have to guess now to know that this matter definitely had something to do with Mississippi Miss was really fast. Boo-hoo. She actually lied to them that she didn't have a plan. So she went to play by herself. Yes, they will definitely be plagued by bad luck recently, Leng Ruoxue said with certainty. She would definitely not let those people have an easy time since they dared to hurt her. Unlucky. She would definitely find them and definitely in a way they didn't expect. Miss, do you need us to do anything? Cheng Wu said expectantly, his handsome face red as he said, "Arrange something for me to do." "Yes, there are indeed some things that you need to do," Len Ruoxue said with a naughty smile, her beautiful eyes circling Cheng Wu and the others. "Miss, can you not look at us like that? We're scared." Cheng Wu couldn't help but say when Len Ruoxue looked at him. "You're too timid. How can you do this? You have to train well." Len Ruoxue looked at Cheng Wu and the others for a while and then said earnestly. "Yes, Mississippi. What training do you want to arrange for us?" Cheng Wu asked bravely. "Boo-hoo. Why did Miss Gaze make him so uneasy? He wouldn't be sold off by Miss, right? Come closer." Len Ruoxue said after some thought. "Yes." Cheng Wu obediently handed over his ear, his little heart racing anxiously. Len Ruoxue whispered in Cheng Wu's ear. Immediately, everyone saw the expression on Cheng Wu's face was very strange, as if he was suppressing something. It alternated between green and white. "Let's go." Cheng Wu turned to the mystic sovereigns present after hearing Len Ruoxue's arrangement. "Yes," the mystic sovereigns hurriedly replied and then left the living room with Cheng Wu. "Little Snowy, where did you get them to go?" Lan Ming asked curiously. "I asked them to return to their rooms to look for Ling." Len Ruoxue said very honestly. She had asked Ling to protect Zheng En after returning to the carefree pavilion just now. Cheng Wu and the others' mission required invisibility, so they naturally had to look for Ling to help. Therefore, she didn't lie. "Is that it?" Lan Ming looked at Len Ruoxue doubtfully. "Boo-hoo. Little Snowy was so naughty. She didn't even tell him anything fun." "Yes." Len Ruoxue nodded. "At least for now. All right, I'm sleepy. I'm going back to my room to sleep." "Do whatever you want." Len Ruoxue wanted to sleep again after settling everything. After speaking, she pulled the freak back to her room uninvited. "I want to enter the space," Empty interrupted before the freak could say anything. Chapter 540, The Unlucky Wugong, 1, okay. Len Ruoxue nodded with a smile. Of course she knew. However, Empty always entered their room like this. It would definitely cause a misunderstanding over time. It's broad daylight. Why are you entering the space? Play outside yourself. The freak glared with slight dissatisfaction. You are all going to sleep. What's the point of me being alone outside? Empty said aggrievedly. Tears welled up in his beautiful eyes as if he was about to cry. Freak, stop teasing him. Let's go in and sleep too. Len Ruoxue kindly helped him out. All right then. The freak was a little unwilling, but he would let Shuer go since she pleaded for the big light bulb. After the freak finished speaking, Len Ruoxue brought the two of them into the bracelet with a thought. Empty, play by yourself. We're going to bed. Len Ruoxue pulled the freak into the purple bamboo hut. Empty sat down in a chair not far from the purple bamboo hut and took out a cup of tea from his ring to drink alone. Alas, Master is so pitiful. Suddenly, Icy's sympathetic voice sounded from the corner. Stinky Icy, how am I pitiful? Empty frowned and said speechlessly. How did Icy view that he was pitiful? Alone, with no one to accompany you. Icy raised its little head. Boo-hoo. It was the same. Don't I have you? Empty said nonchalantly. How can it be the same? We are both male. Icy said gloomily. Alas. Little Snowy's beasts were also male, but Little Snowy was female. Alas. It would have found a female owner back then. The embrace of the female owner was fragrant. Icy, are you despising me? He picked Icy up from a corner and raised it in front of him to look at him. Of course not. Why would I despise Master? Icy quickly denied. In fact, it was just a little envious of little snowy beasts. It definitely didn't despise its master. I see, it's too late even if you despise master. We two males are destined to be tied together in this life. Empty gloated. I know. Boo-hoo. Icy wanted to cry but had no tears. What a waste. Ha. Empty laughed happily seeing Icy's depressed appearance. Alas. Icy sighed heavily and lay in its master's arms to sleep. Leng Ruoxue and the others went to rest peacefully. However, everyone in Carefree City was panicking. The people from the Alchemist Association and the Mystic Association were even more nervous like birds startled by the bow because they were very afraid that the sudden explosion would descend on them. After the big explosion at the Mystic Association headquarters, Wugong had no choice but to temporarily stay in an ordinary mansion in the outskirts of the city. This yard was also the property of the Mystic Association headquarters. However, because no one had lived here for many years, it had been neglected for many years and could no longer be lived in. He sent someone to clean it up simply and then moved in. Alas. Living here was better than staying in an inn to let others point fingers at him. At the same time, Cheng Wu and the others, who had accepted the mission, divided into two groups according to Leng Ruoxue's instructions. They prepared to monitor Sun Wei and Wugong's every move day and night, and occasionally play dirty. In Wugong's temporary residence. Big brother Cheng, Wugong went to the toilet. A mystic sovereign, who was monitoring Wugong, whispered to Cheng Wu. Okay, prepare to move. Cheng Wu, who was hiding in an empty room, stood up from his chair. Hee, Big brother Cheng, we have to let that old man taste the feces pit this time, a short mystic sovereign said excitedly. Yes, we are invisible now anyway. No one can see us. We can play however we want, hee. Cheng Wu said with a naughty smile. This mission was really too enjoyable. He could finally prank people as he wished. Big brother Cheng, what are we waiting for? Let's go quickly, a tall and thin mystic sovereign in black said anxiously. Ah. He had never done such a thing in his life. He was really a little excited. Don't be anxious. Prepare the tools first, Cheng Wu reminded. Then he took out a white jade bottle from his ring and held it in his hand. Okay. After seeing Cheng Wu's action, the others also took out tools that they had long prepared from their rings. Some took out a stick that was twice the size of an adult's arm, while others took out ropes. Let's go. Cheng Wu ordered when he saw that everyone was ready. Let's go. Cheng Wu led the mystic sovereigns to the toilet and swaggered in. In the toilet, Wugong was squatting on the toilet with his pants half off. Cheng Wu and the others couldn't help covering their mouths and noses after entering because the smell in the toilet was really too unbearable. They wouldn't be willing to come to such a place if it wasn't for the mission. Big brother Cheng, do we attack? A mystic sovereign asked softly. Okay. Cheng Wu nodded. Then he poured some powder from the jade bottle and blew it at Wugong. Wugong collapsed in just a few seconds, and the spot where he fell happened to be in the toilet. Wow, Miss Medicine is so effective, the tall and thin black-clothed mystic sovereign exclaimed. Of course, but this Wugong really knows how to find a place to lie down, Cheng Wu said with a naughty smile. Hee, the smell of the toilet might be a little bad, but seeing the vice president of the Mystic Association lying in the toilet pit, such a scene was probably rare to come by in 1,000 years. I'm the vice president of the Mystic Association headquarters, so my sleeping place is naturally different, the short mystic sovereign said matter-of-factly. Alas. Fortunately, Wugong was unconscious. Otherwise, he would be angered to death if he heard this. Makes sense. Should we let him lie down for a while more, or should we fish him out now to bask in the sun? Cheng Wu asked for everyone's opinion. Chapter 541, The Unlucky Wugong, 2, Let him lie down for a while more. He has so much to do every day. It's very tiring, the tall and thin black-clothed mystic sovereign said very kindly. All right. Then let him lie down for 10 minutes, Chen Wu said after some thought. Yes. The mystic sovereigns nodded. 10 minutes later. The mystic sovereign holding the rope made a circle and wrapped it around Wugong's neck. He was about to pull him out of the toilet when he was stopped. Wait, the tall and thin black-robed mystic sovereign stopped him. Ah. Hey Z, what's the matter? The mystic sovereign asked in surprise. Don't let me take my tools for nothing. The mystic sovereign, who was called Haizi, said with a naughty smile. He looked at the stick in his hand and smashed it fiercely on Wugong's head without hesitation. Immediately, blood flowed down Wugong's head. All right, drag it up. Blackie said after the fight. Aren't you going to smash it a few more times? The mystic sovereign suggested. Hee. In fact, they didn't have any deep enmity with Wugong, but the young miss did. The young miss enmity was their enmity. Therefore, they didn't have to mention how happy they were seeing Wugong suffer. I want to, but am afraid it'll crush him to death. We won't have any fun then, Blackie said regretfully. Then don't fight first. Let's take it slow. There's still a long way to go. We won't have any fun if we kill him, the mystic sovereign said. With that, he pulled Wugong out of the toilet like he was carrying a dead chicken. Big brother Cheng, where should we put this fellow to dry? The mystic sovereign asked with a face full of disdain. Why was Wugong so stinky? It was so stinky. Hang it at the city gate. There are many people there and the air is good. This city will stink to death if it's in Carefree City. Cheng Wu covered his nose. Big brother Cheng, how can we get him out in the middle of the day? Hey Z couldn't help asking. It probably wouldn't be easy to hang the vice president of the Mystic Association on the city wall in broad daylight. The difficulty was really extraordinary. Hee, look who this is. Cheng Wu took out a small golden snake with a white jade horn on its head. The snake opened its sleepy eyes and looked at the stinky Wugong with slight disdain. Then it cast an invisibility spell and hid Wugong. After doing all this, the little snake crawled back into Cheng Wu's arms and continued sleeping. Isn't this Miss Beastrise? Big brother Cheng, why are you here? Hey Z asked in surprise. Of course Miss lent it to me. Let's go quickly. Cheng Wu urged. Then he left the stinky toilet first. After leaving the toilet, Cheng Wu and the others sat on their beasts, hung Wugong on a rope, and were carried to the city gate by the beasts. After reaching the city gate, Cheng Wu took out Ling from his arms. Ling opened his eyes, lazily undid Wugong's invisibility spell, and crawled back to catch up on sleep. Hey Z and the others hung Wugong on the highest point of the city gate, stripped him of his clothes, and left. They didn't forget to spread the news on the way back. The vice president of the Mystic Association, Wugong, accidentally fell into the toilet, so he committed suicide at the city gate. After the pedestrians on the street heard this news, it spread from 1 to 10, from 10 to 100. Soon, all the mystics and alchemists in the city heard it. They didn't know where this news came from, but everyone simultaneously ran to the city gate to investigate on the basis of everyone's gossip. After reaching the city gate, everyone found that there was indeed a naked middle-aged man hanging on the city wall. Wasn't he the vice president of the Mystic Association headquarters? Move aside. At this moment, people from the Mystic Association headquarters arrived. The elder leading the group frowned when he saw Wugong. Put President Wu down quickly, the president hurriedly ordered his subordinates. Alas! Who did this? The Mystic Association headquarters had really lost all their face this time. There were rumors that President Wu committed suicide, but as one of President Wu's trusted subordinates, he absolutely wouldn't believe this nonsense. Elder Hao, President Wu committed suicide because he wanted to die, a subordinate reminded. What he implied was that if they meddled and saved President Wu might blame them when he woke up. Why don't they let President Wu go like this? Nonsense. Why would President Wu want to commit suicide? Elder Hao roared furiously. Humph. It was understandable that those mystics who didn't know the truth said so, but he didn't expect his subordinates to think so too. President Wu would be angered to death if he knew. Didn't President Wu commit suicide because he fell into the toilet? The subordinate said foolishly. He also felt that President Wu was a little too exaggerated, but with President Wu's identity and status, it was reasonable for him to not accept the fact that he wanted to commit suicide because he fell into the toilet. After all, President Wu was not an ordinary person. Do you think that's possible? Elder Hao roared angrily. Alas! How could he have such a stupid subordinate? That's possible, the subordinate replied seriously after some thought. Possible my ass. Let me tell you, that's impossible. It's impossible for our President Wu to commit suicide. Elder Hao roared at the top of his lungs. Immediately, everyone's gazes were attracted to him. What are you looking at? What's there to see? Disperse. Whoever surrounds here will be expelled from the Mystic Association headquarters and Alchemist Association headquarters. Old Hao threatened as he looked at everyone's strange gazes. TCH, the Mystic Association headquarters is really becoming more and more depraved. They use expulsion to threaten mystics all the time. Truly a crooked stick. Someone said from the crowd. That's right. He's obviously a vice president, but those bootlickers just have to call him president. What a joke. Now, the only vice president who has fallen into the toilet one by one in the Mystic Association for thousands of years. Ha, someone said with a wild laugh. Who? Who said that? Come out if you dare. Elder Hao roared furiously. He searched several times but didn't find anyone present with their mouths agape. He was really angry. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.